Now available at the Dix Division Prepper Warehouse, the latest in summertime fashion, the all-new Culture Casino brand banana hammocks and slingshots. With sizes ranging from Extra Jed to Culture's Yeti Arm to Drew's Suspension Bridge, you'll feel comfortable no matter your size or location. Stop by Thursday and get a 20% discount on all banana hammock hand cannon hangers. Dix Division Prepper Warehouse. Open late Monday and Thursday on Comix Division's channel.
Folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family. Did you fail to dress up for tonight's show? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to visit our refreshment center during the intermission or any time. You love the tasty array of snacks we have to offer. So will the youngsters. Everything is quality and so good. We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends. There are always wonderful new pictures to see, delightful snacks to nibble, a gay, pleasant evening for all. Oh, a word of caution. Don't drive over 10 miles an hour in the theater area for your safety's sake. And Mom or Pop, go with the kids when they leave the car. We hope you have a wonderful time. Come back soon.
Hello again, all you beautiful people. How's everybody doing tonight?
Well, apparently beautiful. I am doing pretty well. You
My day off.
Me people.
Happy to be here.
That's good. How was?
I'm fine, but not dandy.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough, man. How was your Easter, Father Miller?
Busy. Hours in the confessional, hours in the liturgies. It was good. I'm still recovering though.
That's good. At least you have a day off.
Yeah, it's we actually had 2 days off of school, and we go back tomorrow. I'm not ready.
Oh no.
Yeah, after being off for 2 weeks, I call like I don't want to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were off. We were off for about a week, but it's like from Wednesday till Sunday, my whole week was pretty much busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Definitely that time of year.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's what I signed up for.
Yep, fair enough.
That's true. You made a covenant.
So I'd ask you how you're doing, just another rusher, but you already told me how you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm hanging in there. At this point, I'm hanging in there. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see what falls out of this. Yeah, I just had a major event happen today, so we'll see what it comes of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely the 70s all over again, I guess.
It's starting to feel like it.
Yeah.
How much?
Carter,
I mean,
here we come. Yeah.
Do you remember like much of the 60s and all? I mean, were you born in the 60s?
I was born in 63.
Okay.
So I remember the late 60s. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on comparison with the 60s and 70s compared to what's going on now?
Well, it flew a lot under the radar in the 70s because the media decided they didn't want to cover it because the 60s, everybody knows the 60s were radical.
Right.
The 70s was the Weathermen. That was when they were active in the 70s. The 70s were nuts. And people today don't realize that. There's at least one book I've seen that just details all of what was going on in the 70s that was flying under the radar of most people, because most people were just like, finances suck, inflation sucks, unemployment sucks. we're not paying attention to all of that other stuff.
Right.
But there was a lot of stuff going on. So, 60s and 70s were bad. Now we're approaching it. We haven't gotten there yet. We're early. We're like mid 60s. We haven't gotten to that full on. 2020, yeah. 2020, the BLM riots, Antifa going on in Portland. That was bad. But then it died down. Now it's coming back.
Yeah, with a bit of a vengeance, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
Seems.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's not. I mean, whether it compares to that period or not, whether it has reached that level or not, it's still not good.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I mean, what the old Chinese proverb says. I mean, you live in interesting times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're
we're definitely
live in interesting times.
We are definitely there.
Yeah, I remember I was arguing with somebody online. Well, I mean, we were just going back and forth with stats. When they say that, like, more kids died from gun violence in 2020 than they did of anything else, not true.
No.
At all. And I was going back and forth with them on stats. And I'm like, in your own article, it says that it's not as high as it was in the 70s. The number, and in the article, the numbers that they had from the 70s were on child deaths, which was under the age of 13. And what they have done to conflate the numbers today is they've added kids up into the age of 24 and include self-deletions. So
Well,
that's
they
where
only
they get
used
to
to-
those numbers. Right?
They only used to do 21 to get the gangbangers. Now they're
Right.
doing 24.
Now
Hey,
they're doing more than that.
now they're reaching.
Yeah, they really are.
But the number of deaths per 100,000 is still not, even with all that stretching, is still not where it was in the 70s. So as much as stuff is going on here and people say, oh, we're oppressed, we're doing all this stuff, it's still not as bad as it was in the inner cities and other large cities in the 70s.
So my nephew, who's getting married this year, is 23. By the time he's 24, he could have a kid of his own, and he's supposed to be considered a kid himself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The other thing I always get, I get sick and tired of hearing whenever they say it's like, we don't want your thoughts and prayers. I mean, they're throwing out, we don't want your thoughts and prayers means as much to me as they're saying we want common gun control, common sense gun control. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And they always
Oh,
throw
they just
that
want gun
out. It
control.
doesn't
They
mean
don't-
anything.
Yeah. What they ultimately want is just to get rid of guns, right? Yeah.
Well, that's the two things they need to do. They need to get rid of religion and they need to get rid of guns. That's what the Japanese did in the 30s. It's what the Nazis did. It's what the Italians did with their fascism. What the communists did. They disarm the populace and then make you subservient to the government. So you've got somebody that's different, you turn them in. Gina Carano's tweet that got her all the trouble and everything was true.
Yes.
About stuff, and it just you're seeing that now. I don't know how the city of Nashville could reinstate a representative into the state house. I don't quite understand that, but they broke the rules and they expelled them as they were supposed to. So we'll see how all that goes. But it's perception, and it's what you can get away with more than it is anything else in today's world.
Yeah, today's world is weird. But it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, by the way, I wasn't able to get all the decades I wanted to get into the first poll, so I'm doing another one for all you who were not born in the 80s.
All us old farts.
Okay,
I
got it.
know.
Wait a minute. I'm not old. God. I don't feel old.
All right.
You're only as
That's
old
you,
as the
Ken. I don't
woman you
feel it.
feel.
That's true.
Well, I guess I'm screwed then.
Sorry.
Apparently, Father.
No, you're not.
You're
You have a
probably only
greater
one of us
love.
that won't be when it's all said and done.
So sadly, I hate the thing that sucks about these polls is that you can't like get everything you want in them sometimes. Like,
Right.
you know, I had to leave off the 1960s and 70s.
Why?
Well, I just didn't have the option
I
to
know.
add it in since I started at the 2010s.
Oh, gee.
Oh, yeah.
I should have skipped the 2010s and I don't know.
I don't know, maybe we got
Well,
somebody that's like,
2010. If you had 2010,
Yeah,
that
you could have a
means they'd be
12-year-old watching.
13.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Are 12-year-olds, are
Go away.
13-year-olds allowed to watch you
Go away.
comics?
Go away.
I strongly advise against it.
yes.
I do. My channel's
Yeah, my
not for
rule
kids,
is
man.
13 or younger. No.
I'm not child friendly.
No.
Or family friendly or whatever.
That's why I'm here.
No.
Yeah, that's why Father Mill was here.
That's right.
All right.
So
Speaking of Father Miller, there's a new movie coming out, I believe, this week called The Pope's Exorcist
It's a bunch
with
of garbage.
Russell Crowe. I had no idea it was him.
Bunch of garbage.
Yes. So I saw it when I went to watch.
I'm not going to go see it. The one that I'm actually looking forward to seeing is the new Nick Cage Dracula movie.
Oh, Renfield.
no, Renfield.
That looks really good.
It looked interesting when I saw it in the previews in the theater. There was a bunch of them when I went to see D&D, and one of them was the Pope's Exorcist, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And then
Supposedly it's
Renfield
based
looked good.
on the true story of the Exorcist that was at the Vatican, but I'll be honest, I don't really know much about it. And anytime Hollywood does a movie, something like that, I'm a little leery on it.
I don't
No,
know
you
why
should-
everything Hollywood
Plus,
does
I mean,
is
the
true.
thing is, as I've said before, I don't know if I said it on here, but anything with exorcisms, devil, and stuff like that, I avoid. Because, I mean, if you look at the making of The Exorcist itself, there was some serious stuff that happened on set that they can't explain.
Yeah.
I saw Brahmabull's comment. No, I did not see Dogma. I'm sorry, but when you got George Carlin as a Cardinal, that was kind of like a little red flag for me. I mean, I like
Yes.
Carlin's comedy, but if he's going to play a Cardinal, no.
Oh, you know, he
Plus,
gets,
I mean, I
he
could
gets
go into
murdered.
theological reasons for it, but I mean, no, I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that.
fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I will say I did see the Marvels trailer.
Oh, I did too. That was funny for all the wrong reasons, man.
Yes.
I think it's going to make a lot of money for
Do you
people
really
that aren't
think-
Marvel.
Do you think it's gonna make a lot of money? Really?
For people that aren't Marvel.
Oh, that aren't Marvel. Oh, okay, yeah.
I watched it. I got blind.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. That I mean, it looks awful.
Listening to Kamala Khan go hyper for 2 hours, I don't think I could do it.
Well, that and you also have like Monica Rambeau fangirling out over
Ouch.
Nick Fury, and it's like, geez, come on.
You know, that's the thing that struck me when I saw the trailer first. I mean, you look at Nick Fury today versus when MCU first started. I mean, there's a change in him, and I'm tired of him.
Who
Samuel L. Jackson's
Sam Jackson?
version of it.
well, you know,
I
he's
mean-
old, tired. think
Well, I
probably is
mean,
what the
one of the
issue is.
comics I've been collecting, I have probably about 100 of them, is the original Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos.
Right.
That's, I mean, the earliest issue I think I have is a number 3. And I mean, I even have the Captain America version. I just got that graded. But I mean, it just, the last few movies, he's not been good.
He's probably tired of doing it. That's why. I mean, what do you want? I mean, like I said, what do you want from him at this point? But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think he's tired of doing it. But he might be
Well, I mean,
contractually
it's just-
obligated.
Well, that's true too. I mean, you really can't recast him.
Yeah, I don't know. It all seems kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah, contractual obligation performances are usually not very good. Witness Monty Python's last record.
Which one was that?
The Contractual Obligation album.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh,
with a white sleeve where they just scrawled across it. Can Eric do something interesting for the album cover? Yeah, probably not worth it.
That's funny.
It's just shit written across the cover, and to see you bought this thing, it was like, oh, and man, it was contractually obligated. It was just filler. It wasn't even as good as a Terry Gilliam link. It was an awful album.
Wow.
Yeah. But they had to, so they did.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm probably one of 8 people who bought the damn thing.
I'm looking it up on YouTube right now.
I think Prince did the same thing when he changed his name because he was contractually obligated. So it's out there. There are a lot of people right now in movies and in music are actually like rising up and saying, "I'm done." They moving out of California and not just going the independent route.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure being forced to do something is not exactly the greatest thing for creativity, right? So,
Nope.
Yeah, not usually.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's basically a creativity killer. And I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of these people who are obligated to do more Marvel stuff kind of feel like Sam Jackson. So, yeah, I don't blame him if he's done at this point. So, I'm done.
Well, let's say you're a Marvel actor that's been there from the start, and then you get one of the current scripts. What do you actually think? You just kind of die inside when you see what your character is about to become.
Get a new agent, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. But even that probably wouldn't help because again, if you're a regular character and you've been on it.
Yeah, if you've been there from the start, what are you going to do?
Yeah, if you walk away, that's Hollywood. No, you don't do that in Hollywood, at least from my understanding. Even back in the old days, you didn't do that. Your name would be. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like Hemsworth is pretty much done with everything.
Yeah, but Hemsworth can do anything he wants. He's one of the few.
True. That's true. What's Sam Jackson gonna do now? Nothing.
I mean, he might. You know what? If he's smart, he'll go to wherever that studio is that Pixar lost their creator to, John Lasseter, and he'd look for a voice acting job there. And get on the ground floor of that because that's going to eat. Sony's backing them, and I'm going to predict that's going to eat Disney Animation's lunch if they start producing animated films and Sony distributes them. Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Nathan.
Disney's in deep trouble with that. Because Lasseter has an axe to grind, and it justifiably so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. He got fired for no good reason.
Right.
No good reason. For hugging somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's the one who turned a technology company into an animation studio. Almost single-handedly.
Animation studio. Best in the business.
Yeah. Well, for a time, yes. Not anymore.
No, yeah.
Not anymore.
Is there anything you guys are looking forward to this year that's coming out?
Oppenheimer.
2 things, yeah. Oppenheimer and Dead Reckoning.
Which one's Dead Reckoning?
Mission Impossible 7.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Part 1, yeah.
That makes sense.
Those only 2. Oppenheimer definitely because I actually went to see Tenet when it came out of the theater. I went to the theater when it came out because I wanted to and because I appreciate Christopher Nolan's films. And I want to see Oppenheimer.
I think
Yeah,
this
I'm
is one
curious
you're going to
about
want to see on
Oppenheimer,
IMAX.
but I've already seen my movie for the year. I got to see a copy from India of Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm done.
Oh, nice.
So what did you think of it?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One, if you are a D&D gamer, and two, if you're not. Yeah, I'll get to the if you're not, which is more important. If you're not, it's a good story, and the thing is that what everyone was saying concerning the wokeness and whatever, it's not there in the sense, it's not there at all in the sense that the men are incompetent. What happens is that they relegated the combat roles, which is quite possible in a D&D game, to the women, to Michelle Rodriguez and to the druid Doric. Okay, so they're the combat people. All right, it's fine. But and the guys, the paladin is a combat dude, and the Chris Pine and the other guy, they're not your mainliners. So, but what's more important is that it tells a family story because it talks about family redemption, or a redemption of for a father and even though at first it's like a misguided doing it for the wrong reasons, at the end of things, no, he ends up it's a rescue the princess story, and that's what it is. So the and everything else from the now getting a little more into the gamer thing, from the Wizards of Thay and the whole thievery plot and all of that stuff. No, for me, as that, those are all red herrings in a sense, which is to get you gamers into the movie.
Subtermus.
And as far as now for the gamers, too many people, from what I heard, that are down on the movie are going, "Oh, it's not serious," and this and that. My comment is, get over it. It's a game. The way the characters spoke with relatively modern English, that's how we talk around the table. You go and say, "Well, my barbarian," at one point I played a female necromancer for a Lord of the Rings style game, and the thing is that I was always trying to look for someone to marry me, if only they'd just give me the right ring.
What's up, Terminus?
And so the thing is, you can either play it serious or you can play it tongue in cheek. And now, as a gamer, if you're paying homage to the game, it's the Forgotten Realms, man. It's great. Everything's in there. It's not perfect as far as, oh man, he just cast a such and such spell, but he can't do that. He's too high a level. Whatever. It's more for the feels and the entertainment.
Hey guys.
Hey, Terminus.
Oh, that's comment. And that is the 80s kids make a cameo in the movie. They don't die on screen, at the very least.
That's good.
And the reason I say that is because their cameos when they're in the pit, or in the gladiator pit thing with Chris Pine's party, and what looked like on the other side, either the Critical Role party or the party from the party might have been the iconic characters from the early 2000s novels, the generic 3.0 novels. And the thing is, no, those guys die. The kids live. So I'd say it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it as far as the film goes. It's a good film to watch. How much money it's worth, it depends on how much of a fan geek you are in terms of D&D. I can't, as you know, I was protesting about the game. what Wizards of the Coast was doing as far as that goes, and that's up to you if you want to support it or not. But in my opinion, as a film and as a gamer, no, it was as a film, it was entertaining. As a gamer, thank God, finally.
Yeah, I still need to see it. I want to at some point. Just haven't had an opportunity. I'm glad it didn't suck.
No, it definitely did not suck. I have how's it go? I still feel butthurt from Culture Casino being so, and Andre over at Midnight's Edge being so down on it. But even though Culture apparently is a tabletop gamer or knows all the stuff, I don't know why he again, as I said, they're being like adult critical with this film, and they're not being adult critical with Super Mario Brothers, which I also saw.
I know that's the thing I found funny, is that he was giving me crap for pointing out some things I felt were kind of intersectional with Mario. But it's like, dude, you're like all over Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and I can understand. I don't know. Maybe Culture is one of those more serious. I wanted everyone to speak in Shakespearean English, or like it's Lord of the Rings, and it's like, no, man. It's like, think of it like this. More or less, the goals and the stakes are for like level. It's a level 1 to 5 adventure. It's not level 20 where you're going out to kill Orcus on his home plane and he's got the rod of Orcus in his hand.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't all start out with them. Yeah, but I don't know why he was doing. I don't know why he was doing that. Sorry to monopolize the time here, but I wanted one other thing, and I'll just keep quiet most of the rest of the time. I wanted to post a link for you guys concerning the opening topic, which is why I came in. There's this thing called Strauss How generational theory, and it's more a hypothesis, and it basically says that every 4 generations we recycle through and we end up having the same cultural attitudes. So yes, you're right. Right now, so you had the baby boomers who or the greatest you had the baby boomers who enjoyed what the greatest generation or the Depression era people made. They're the ones that did the hard work. The boomers ended up enjoying it. The Gen Xers ended up struggling, whining, and bitching because we didn't have it as good as the boomers. And then the millennials are the rebels again, something like that. So
I always thought Gen Xers were the rebels.
Yeah, millennials are not rebels.
Yeah,
trust me,
or something like that. But the idea is that we cycle through a growth, a building growth, degeneration, and crisis or conflict generations. And
it happens every 80 years, and like that. Yeah, like the last one was like World War II.
Is that the fourth turning?
That's the fourth turning.
Yeah.
Are you saying we'll get to a revival in Sinatra?
Sorry, what was that?
Posted the link.
No, I was just going to say. Wikipedia. I'm just hoping that we get to see another swing revival. Bring back Sinatra.
Oh yeah, bring back swing music. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
it's more.
Although we did do that in 2000.
Attitudinal. It's more attitudinal, and also what's going on with the economy. Yes. So I posted the link. If anyone wants to go and do kind of like I want to do a homework assignment kind of thing. It's not necessary, of course. Just look it up if you want to. But I found it fascinating. And the thing is, as long as it doesn't get too much into politics, Wikipedia is not terrible.
No, I mean they're okay with certain things. It just depends on what it is.
So if you can, okay, I'm done for today.
All right. What's the most recent movie that you watched, Father Miller, that you actually enjoyed?
I just watched The Amazing Spider-Man for the first time. And
the one with
Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I had never seen it. I think I was just so hooked on Toby that I never gave it a chance. And I watched the first one, and now I want to see the second.
I mean, I thought it was all right.
But recent movies, I would say Violent Night was the last one I saw.
Really?
I loved it. I mean, I like that type of stuff.
What'd you think of it?
I mean, I want to see John Wick. I haven't been able to, and I was going to try to see Super Mario Brothers today, but we just had a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, I mean, the humor, you know, Violent Night, it is a violent movie, but I can appreciate the humor. And I mean, I like that type of humor.
Yeah, it's good humor.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It isn't that the one where it's like a Viking?
Yeah.
Who's like Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm.
Santa
Basically,
Claus?
it's John Wick meets Santa Claus.
That's funny.
Wait, did they kill a dog? I was kidding.
Oh no, but I think it's John. What's his name? The guy that won't see Super Mario Brothers. John
Leguizamo?
Yeah, I think he does a very violent death in it.
That I really want to see the movie because he did the same thing happen to him in the menu.
I wanted to see the menu. I never got to.
This is giving me vibes from Fat Man with Mel Gibson.
Oh, you know, I liked it better than Fat Man.
Okay.
Well, Fat Man was a little bit crude, wasn't it? More like raunchy in a way, or very subversive in a way. I only heard. I heard a way. It was very very hard R, in a way.
Oh, this is
it was Santa being a disciplinarian, and he was the only one left that would tell bad children, "You've been bad." And a young rich kid puts out a contract on him for being given coal.
Yeah.
I thought it was hysterically funny.
That is.
It was
funny.
like somebody had to put a foot down. Yeah, I thought it was great.
But I mean, you have in Violent Night. I never realized he's the Red Guardian from Black Widow, playing Santa, and I mean he's just basically. It's not the Christian version of Santa.
No.
Nowhere near it.
No. He's also the dad in Stranger Things, which I'm watching right now. I got prompted to watch that. Once I heard I heard the game was related to D&D, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I should watch that and see how much of the '80s they got right or wrong. And it's kind of like, nah, it's pretty close.
Huh, interesting. So, how about you, Reuben? What did you watch recently?
Oh, recently? Yeah. Recently? I'm watching old movies.
Like what? What have you seen?
Excalibur. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm late. Yeah, I love that movie. I watched. What did I see? I actually got him on YouTube. Hitch, which I love. You know, it's a fun little movie. But it's Will Smith. You know, he got screwed over. I mean, he screwed himself over. But Excalibur, a great film, great music. Unappreciated Arthurian legend. Well done. I loved it, and I was watching last night.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Will Smith screwed himself over, and if he would have hit any lower, or he would have hit rock bottom.
Well, he would have been really out of the loop. He would be watching his wife do two dudes instead.
Let's be fair. Will wasn't the one getting screwed. It was his wife.
That's right.
I thought she was the one doing it.
Sorry, I'm late. Here you go, Terminus.
But also,
what I'm really I thought nobody got that one.
Sorry. What I'm really enjoying is Picard season 3, which I'm calling myself. There's no season 1 or 2. It's just this one. So far, it's unraveling beautifully. Is it fan service? Yes. It's basically, I consider it like Ghostbusters, Afterlife in a way. It's epilogue. It's like it's a swan song. And after this, I can walk away at least knowing we had a good wake, and Star Trek is dead.
Hey, Reuben, on the Trekometer, on the Trekometer, when is the last valid Star Trek movie or show, as far as you're concerned, until now? You say
Well,
Picard
Nemesis
3
for
is
me.
good,
Nemesis.
But what was the last okay thing?
Nemesis.
Pardon?
I watched Nemesis and that was it. That was the end. I
Oh,
haven't seen
okay.
any-
So you didn't go through 2009 or the
Oh, that
or,
one
or
I
the
like. I enjoyed those films too, but I
other
enjoyed them as
shows.
an alternate timeline, basically. No TV
Yeah,
shows.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no TV shows.
Yeah,
No, God, no.
yeah. Oh, okay.
No, I listened to. I listened
Those
to
are the Chris Pine
So
ones,
be it.
right?
Okay.
I like but I like those films for.
Yeah, the
I like what they
2009
were
movies.
trying to do. But again, the reason that I heard that the reason that the Star Trek films were the way they were is because that CBS has it so mired with all of the licensing and they couldn't do certain things, so they had to be very different. They had to change it on purpose because Star Trek was originally a Desilu property, I believe, back in the 60s.
It was a Desilu property.
Yes.
So then that was where the rights and this and that. That's why it's been. How'd you say it? They've been so corporatized from the very beginning that they've been stifled all creativity coming out. So
They required to be 25% different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then everything gets screwed up, and every property gets a little bit off, and then all that stuff, and then I don't know. I'm just saying it's a nice swan song. It's something that I can. At least I did pay for the Paramount Plus subscription. I am watching that. I may watch other content, maybe, but right now I'm just like, I'm only watching this. That's it. And everything. I'm just doing old stuff, old music, old movies, and just shutting everything down. I have too much work to do that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
You don't want to watch the Halo series? It will blow your socks off.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Hey. I saw like I said, I got eye cancer from watching the Marvels trailer. So I can't see right now. No, I'm done. I know I'm done with that. I can't. It's more comedy now. I'm watching going.
It's like we talk about. That was fantastic.
I'm not, to be real okay. I shared that in my Discord, and everyone asked the same question. Like nobody finished the trailer. They all literally came back the moment it started, and everyone was saying this, asking the same thing. They were like, why are they in space? Like, when did they get a space station? What the hell's going on with Nick Fury? It's like they were just utterly confused in the first 5 seconds. Already they had questions. They were trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? They couldn't even get past
the reason
that
why
part
they're
of
in
the
space
trailer.
is because they're doing Sword now rather than Shield.
But the thing is that Disney really messed this whole thing up. They could have launched Disney Plus correctly because they did mention the shows there, so they have to do this. But again, people weren't really ready to watch a show specifically. The normal masses watch movies. So they did the same thing in Quantumania. People got confused. Why is Loki back? Where did he come from? Because they didn't know. So people are just confused now. But it's basically phase 4, Flay's confusion, basically.
Oh yeah,
it's all messed up.
I can see that. With with the end of Solo. I'm sure plenty of people were like, what the hell? How the hell is
Darth Maul alive? Yeah.
Well, no one thought that because no one saw that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solo lost money.
I'm sure.
Much to
good.
Disney's chagrin.
The FBI is here. Play nice.
It's glowing.
Yes, the FBI is here, folks. And
sorry, or the UFOs. Whatever.
Yeah, or the UFOs.
Aren't they one and the same?
Yeah, pick your poison, I suppose.
I can't wait to see the Star Wars, the future coming up, because everyone that I know of who's marginally into the Star Wars or heard about that, they're like, wait, they're going with Rey? Like everyone's amazed because they're like, where are they going to take it next? They've killed everyone off because it's sort of what even like Gary and some of the others have been saying. The Star Wars franchise was Han, Luke, and Leia. There was no going past it unless you can build us characters on par with those three. And they didn't, and they've now lost those 3 legacy characters. So it's like you can't take the series forward anymore because no one gives a fuck about Star Wars outside of it just being another sci-fi show because everyone is in it for the main 3. Well, main 3 and Vader, but basically it's like you didn't pass the torch. You completely failed at it. So the torch hit the ground. It extinguished. You're fucked going forward.
But they didn't want to pass. They didn't want to pass the torch. They wanted to extinguish the old torch and light a new one, and it didn't light.
Yep.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's the thing.
That's why they killed.
If you want Star Wars, you pass the torch. If you want something brand new, extinguish the torch because your new torch isn't Star Wars. That's the one thing you have to
this is all doubling down at this point. I mean,
no, I say it's Star Wars. It's just
even fucking George Lucas said that that's it's not
I told Kennedy's.
It's that whether that's
I would suggest
real,
everything
real
up
Star
to
Wars with that.
up to the Legacy trilogy is Star Wars. The expanded universe, it was good. It was entertaining. You had fans, just like people writing gazillions of Star Trek novels. It's I would equate it similarly to like Lord of the Rings and like role-playing games, which is where it's mostly in that take place in Middle Earth and have been licensed in Second Age and Fourth Age. So, and it's like, what? There's a Fourth Age? Well, yeah, it's not as cool as the epic quest of Mordor, and the history of things are set in stone in the Second Age, so to speak, on the big issues. But you're not one of the big players. So the thing is that having lots of adventures, lots of lesser heroes, if everyone's got their 15 minutes of heroism and fame, but the thing is, no, it's not the epic, but it is the adventure. And the thing is that people are quite happy to hear like something in the background going on, like, oh, did you like when you're in the middle of playing a game or reading an expanded universe novel, oh my gosh, did you hear they hit that rebel base on Yavin? Well, okay, you weren't there, but you're in the middle of some other thing, aren't you? So the thing is, it's like it places a time and a place, gives you a little bit more verisimilitude for the place that you're playing in, or the place that you're reading about. That's just my suggestion. But yeah, KK and company and all that. Oh my God.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I would disagree with one little thing there on Nathan. Is you are sort of right there because that applies to the fans. But when I speak, because even with my friends, like they know of Star Wars, they like Star Wars, but they're not like big fans for us. Like they're not going to read the EU. So when I'm speaking, like they've lost most people moving forward, it's not necessarily Star Wars. It's like outside of course, Star Wars fans because they've been burned so many times. But I'm like, just the general audience, like Star Wars, you enjoyed the movies, you like it, but you don't really go looking for it too much. It's just when you see it, there's that big event, you're like, oh, sweet, Star Wars movie? Oh yeah, I like Star Wars. I want to go check this out. It's like for them, that's what I meant when I said the big three were Han, Leia, Luke, because like it's sort of like shallow, like their entertainment love for the brand. It's like something just sort of familiar with them. They enjoyed it, so when they see it again, they know, hey, I enjoyed that last time. I'm probably gonna enjoy it again. Why not? Let's go for it. That's what I meant when they without that moving forward, they're already screwed. And then, of course, you have how they've been treating the main fandom itself, and they've just screwed themselves further.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
They also don't understand their own product. I've been coming back to this a lot the past couple days, but that guy on the Acolyte interview panel, or he was like, Star Wars is. It's not about good and evil, man. It's that's the best part of it. That's the best part of Star Wars.
That's the super fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, the super fans that know nothing, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my buddies. Like, okay, so he's in my Discord. He's progressive and everything. So like for him, he was like when they were doing the Rings of Powers, like he was all for like them introducing like other races, whatever. And so like I actually want to see that and such. And they're going through it, but
somebody's breaking up.
Yeah, the CIA doing that.
Yeah, Marksman
wasn't looking into like the background, all this stuff.
Man, you are totally breaking up.
I'll break up. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, basically, he told him this where he's like, because he had a problem with that. He thought we were overreacting for it. And I said, "This is the thing."
No. So every time he gets to the explanation,
I know it's funny.
Wait, hold on. What overread that? I'm like, yeah, yeah. The land where everyone there shouldn't be a single white person
I have
there.
to say that
They turned everyone white. And
this is the first time in membership history that Marksman's actually made sense to me.
I knew you were gonna say that, but it was still really
you knew it was
funny.
going to happen. Yeah, Marksman, I'm sorry, but every time you got to the good parts,
shit. Yeah, no, I see it now.
God
my
decided
side too,
you
of,
were
like,
not telling
cutting
us.
in and out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
dude, what the hell was
Oh,
that?
you know what
Okay,
happens.
it's cleared
Yeah,
up.
we
I
missed
think.
almost all of it, dude. Yeah, sorry. It sounded because you
Oh,
got
damn
good
it.
points.
Well, basically, I told him they race swapped the Southlands, and then very quickly he was like, "Oh shit! If getting the Black Elf meant we lost an entire culture that would have been different and actually diverse," he was like, "Fuck that! Then freaking turn the elf black, give me the whole culture of brown people. I mean, turn the Black Elf white." It was like you said, like they don't understand. It was like, hey, you had something there you could have used for your freaking message, and you couldn't even do that right.
No.
Nope.
If they wanted a message, they should have made Driss the Word and for the Forgotten Realms movie. How's it go? Nothing like an outcast, not chaotic evil drow elf. So.
Wait,
Yeah,
isn't
you
he a
think
those of you
half-breed,
who
or am I
know-
thinking of a different elf?
No, he's a dark elf.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay,
I
so
know.
maybe
I'm
it's
just I was thinking because they want
No,
to
I
get
was,
rid
I
of
was
health.
telling I was
They
telling Marksman.
want these new tactics. They want to get rid of the half. So no more half elves, no more half orcs. So and no no half giants if you play Dark Sun or whatever.
Like one of my buddies was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, they're just removing the description, whatever. And then of course the friend, the one I said is more progressive, he's black. He posted the screenshot of them saying why they're doing it because of the racism, and he was like, "Fuck, I was trying to give them an out." I was like, "Yeah, racial mixing is bad, determined by Wizards of the Coast."
Ah, jeez.
WotC. Yeah, they killed D&D.
Yes,
It's-
they did.
it's- It's unfortunate.
They ironically turned themselves into the biggest white supremacy freaking tabletop group in
Well,
the
yeah,
space.
this is why when you guys call this stuff out, make sure you say that basically Wizards of the Coast is pushing racial purity. There we go. Not racial
There you go.
superiority. Racial
Grand
purity.
Wizards of the Clan.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, comics. So I got to go.
All right, just another red shirt.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up, man. Sorry
Oh,
about your
it's a-
bad news, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. And no, but
What
it's
happened?
been a
What
pleasure.
did I miss? Jesus, man.
Got a bad
Stuff.
news today. Got
Okay,
bad
so
news today.
tell me later.
But
I'll
I'll leave
find
it at that.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, have a good evening. Catch you later. Catch me on modding in a chat somewhere. Say hello. See everybody around. Bye now.
You are
Take care.
relieved, sir.
Take care, Redshirt.
No
All red shirts have to die.
I think I'm going to bug out too.
All right.
All priests have to. Oh wait, no.
Oh, finish that. Please do finish that.
Need to pray. That's pray.
Yes. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Be over the Ark of the Covenant, so all the Nazis get.
No, he was like, yeah, finish that sentence, Talks. Finish it. Let's see what happens to you.
I don't know. It's getting warm in here. I don't know.
Oh, I have nothing to do with that.
Nope, not you.
So, but no, I'm glad I was able to make it. You know, Sunday nights is usually hard for me because I have obligations.
No, I get it.
So I was glad to be able to make it for once.
Oh, we're glad you're able to make it as well. It was fun having you around.
Yeah. So we'll talk to you all soon.
All righty. You take care,
Okay,
Father.
take care.
I get to punch a priest.
No ticket.
I'm not sure what happened. The toxic man flu. It's like he got struck down or something. Oh wait, there he is.
Oh, no.
The wrath of God.
Hey.
He's back. Yes. Mm-hmm. It can happen.
I thought his wife just hit him with another salami stick.
Oh,
That too can happen.
Yes.
At any time.
Tarminus, what's your most recent film that you enjoyed?
You just
Most
skipped
recent.
I was gonna get back to you.
for it.
Recent film. I
Canadians
forgot,
get
but
back on the line.
oh, just I haven't I haven't see. I don't think I've been watching any anything movies. I've only finished watching I've only finished catching up on the MCU back in January, and I'm not sure if I watched anything since that. Well, with the exception of Stranger Things and but real Mandalorian doesn't count. That's not real.
No,
that's
Mandalorian
not
does
real
not
TV.
count.
Yeah. Man,
Anything else?
what a cringe fest that's turning out to be.
Oh, God, it's awful.
No, pretty much. That's pretty much it. Although I would like to watch I do intend on watching some like a couple of I do intend on watching Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I watched Ant-Man and 2 months ago, but Kang was pretty much pretty much the only thing I liked from that, you know. But yeah, that's.
I didn't like anything from Ant-Man, honestly.
Oh.
Did you hear the rumor they work on Midnight's Edge? Possible?
What?
The rumor was that Jonathan Majors is out of the MCU. That's the rumor.
Oh, is it because of
Yeah, what happened?
The abuse.
But it's only a rumor. They only say that they may happen, but that's the rumor right
The
now.
alleged charges of
It's like, hey, I'm sorry that you hit me. It's my fault.
which is of course
And I
funny
made you
because
hit
I'll
me.
never get to Secret Wars.
whatever
if-
will happen?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if they were to recast, this is technically the best because they've only had him in one movie so far. And to be fair, a lot of people didn't see all the way to the end of Loki. So people who know him as freaking Kang, it's early enough that if they did recast him, it wouldn't be as jarring. I mean, like they recasted the guy who played Rhodey initially.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do decide to go that, they have to make that decision quick. So I'm pretty sure it's on the table whether they go for it or not. I think they're still just sitting and waiting to see how it plays out. They're going to try and see if they can pull a Ezra Miller with this.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, yeah, it's garbage tier.
Mm-hmm.
Complete garbage tier.
Oh, they had ants with lasers on their heads, and I was like, how the hell did you make that boring? That actually sounds like something that could be entertaining for one of the parts of the movie. One of them is, I can't remember who I was watching do a breakdown, made a joke where it's like, if you have this civilization that was like essentially like, was it Hank's ant farm? At least something that could have been somewhat entertaining, whatever, if you leaned into that, where it's like, oh, they became advanced, whatever bullshit. But make it that they worship Hank as like either a god or their dad. Or it's like, oh my God, it's our dad. We have sentience, whatever. It's like, oh, you didn't want our help? Sure, we'll lead a war in your name. Have like a giant robot shaped like Hank, piloted by ants, decimating the city. So it's like, just lean into the wackiness of it. But it's like they can't even do that. It's like they don't. It's like they're so, like you say, it's the way Gary said, they're so hitting cues in such a corporate way that there actually isn't even a real tone to the movie because it never sits on anything. You can't even say there is a tone to it. It's bland freaking corporate assembly.
It's Gary kind of highlighted this, but you know, it's something a lot of us have picked up on. It's and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and they're everything. I mean, even like the Mandalorians, same thing.
Oh God. To be fair, Mandalorians, they're running out of script. That's why they needed Lizzo to fill the runtime.
They're like filling the runtime.
Yeah.
Did it have any
Stays
stakes at all?
hut.
I haven't bothered to watch. I haven't bothered to watch Quantum Mania yet, and I do use the word correctly. I haven't bothered.
What do you mean by yet?
Well,
never gonna
the thing is that it's for me, the MCU. I'm a little bit more diehard about it because the thing is, the characters that they're bringing out, the characters that they brought out, up to what do you call it, the Girl Squad for the Avengers. What happens is that I still, they still, every time I try to leave, they keep dragging me back in. They dragged me back in because of Kang in the first place. It's as simple as that, because everyone goes, this goes back to what decade were you born in? If you were born in the 70s or 80s, Thanos is the big Marvel character that people keep harping on about, because of course he gets the Infinity Stone. But way before, if you were born in the 60s, or are a historical comic book fan, like for me, I don't like X-Men, or I haven't liked X-Men since 137 and 175, when they killed off Phoenix. And I was at a convention where John Byrne was wearing the T-shirt that says she's dead and she's going to stay dead. And then they brought her back in X-Men 175. After that, for me, after that, X-Men was dead to me. But for me, Kang, that was the badass that you worried about. That was your Thanos level threat before there was a Thanos. In the 60s and 70s. And that's the reason why they got me. And I heard that they've got Rama Tut and Mr. Timely and I forgot who the other one was. Scarlet Centurion. In the they have them in the end credits scene. So I'm like, oh, they are gonna play that game. So yeah, that's my member berries, because the only other thing I could think that they could do to bring badassery back for a climax is either to actually do the Beyonder, or to do Korvac. For those of you who read Avengers, he was the one that ended up slipping onto Galactus' ship, ended up getting all his knowledge, and then started killing the Eternals for their power. And then finally, at the end, he killed all the Avengers, and then realized that maybe it's a bad idea. And then he committed suicide, because all the gods and the Lords of Order and Chaos in Marvel and the In-Betweener and so on, they were all after him. They were all made aware of his presence and were lining up to go up against him. So that's the reason why I said yet. I mean, heck, I even went and watched Loki, and I actually liked Loki, because the thing is that
same here. Same here.
You actually like the Loki series?
I mean,
What about it?
Yeah, I actually liked it because of the different iterations. What I liked about it was He Who Remains, because while they didn't get around to it, the last Kang, the one that's whose mission kind of like, yeah, I think all the things, all of my former selves and my other dimensional selves, and not even for the sake of ruling the universe, just to give the multiverse some peace and quiet.
I found Kang's background really, really interesting, about how he's this scientist from the future who will just like open up portals to different parallel universes. Just found out all versions of himself are doing the same thing, and then that eventually just starts to fuck up all of existence.
And the other, and the other aspect which they if they survive long enough is that it's been established in his own universe, in the multiverse, he is a direct descendant of either Reed Richards or Doctor Doom. It's kind of unclear because as they've gone through in later Marvel comics, what happens is that the Doom has a little bit of respect for Reed's kids. He doesn't want to kill Reed's kids.
It's Reed.
And what happens is that especially the daughter Valeria, she goes back up and she talks to Doom like, and apparently the way they were doing it in 2000s, Doom's her godfather.
That's interesting.
So and so what happened, because yes, his beef is always with Richards, and now what they've done is that they've gone and made.
What does any of this have to do with the Loki show?
Oh, what happens is that they brought back the other iterations of Loki from the comic books. They brought back OG Loki. They brought back Kid Loki. They also they also had apparently the Thor that had been turned into a frog, trapped in a bottle, or and that. What I didn't like about it was what I didn't like so much was about the Sophie thing, because that's just a little bit too much of narcissism in the Master from Doctor Who, with the Master and Missy kind of like giving each other a hug and a kiss kind of thing. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a little too much narcissism there. It's bad enough that all the other guys are flying around. Also, it did provide an adequate mechanism which has existed since the 1970s about the multiverse in the first place, because the multiverse has existed in Marvel Comics since the mid 70s. It was either Marvel 2-in-1 50 or Marvel 2-in-1 100 when they established that time travel is not time travel the way you think. It's time travel the way they mentioned in Avengers Endgame. If you travel into the past, you're essentially going to another universe. If you go into the future, you may or may not be going to your universe. So the fact that there are multiple Lokis, that there are multiple Spider-Mans, and so on, that basically locked that idea into place, and does provide as I roll my eyes, an avenue for X-Men and Deadpool and all the other properties to be fit in, so to speak, retroactively into the universe. Also, I do like the Loki character, and I did like Owen Wilson being his agent.
Now, the one thing I had to bring up is what Chuck Brewer brought up was they basically made a joke out of the Infinity Stones. I mean, they literally turned them into paperweights. I disagree with that. Yeah,
I think they destroyed the multiverse in general. I think I disagree with everything you just said about it. Then establishing that it's multiverse in the comics. I think they don't actually. I think they establish it that it's completely different.
Well, I think what it is,
again, it's its own universe.
It's
Earth, whatever.
Because what you described there, like, it's basically, because it's one of my issues too. Especially, I think it's the main issue with the current Marvel is, like, it seemed like they are grabbing a lot of like the ideas you described in some cases, like with Loki, whatever, but they're implementing so much poorly. Like, you go to King, how you describe and everything. Like, what you've described, I have not gotten anything close to the vibes of what they've shown so far.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've just watched an anime called Ray Zero. And one of the things
is they haven't shown his origin or anything. Yeah.
No, I know, but so far, even just then, before you even get the origins in there, is you can already establish a certain level of presence from this character acting off those origins before you show those origins, explaining how that character acts. I'm giving an example. This is a character that's similar to Kang that it sounds like. So in this story, this guy, he has this ability where every time he dies, because he got a blessing, but it's also a curse, where every time he dies, he resets to a point in time. That point changes as he progresses through things, but every time he dies, he has the chance to go back and restart it. And what he ends up learning is one of the guys he's working with, that's Marquise, he tells him, because he's a cult member that's trying to basically free like this dark goddess, who apparently was the one whose sisters with the goddess who cursed him. Because he's trying to save his master, and he basically tells him, I know about your curse. I also know the fact that you can't speak about it to anyone, because that's one of the conditions of having it. And because you have this curse, I know that if there's any impossible situation in my roadblock, I can manipulate you to put you in this path, regardless if I live or die, because there's another version of me that will survive in that line, that will continue our mission. Because the whole thing is, they don't even know if when he dies, are we resetting time or are we breaking into another multiverse? But you have this one guy who is aware of it, and it's suddenly, when he finally has this conversation, this one, because they're surrounded by a monster that's about to eat them. It's like, it takes the form of a little rabbit, because the person that made it was just fucked in the head. So he said, I'm gonna make this tiny, cute little rabbit that multiplies in a swarm of thousands, that literally eats everything in sight. So basically the guy tells him this because he's like, because right now you failed this time. We're both about to die, but I'm not afraid, because I know there's going to be a version of me that will always succeed because I have you. It doesn't matter if there's a multiverse or if it's because we're just resetting this timeline. I will still succeed, because the only way you get what you want is if I get what I want. So you have no choice but to help me. And that right there, a little origin where you start putting in there, you understand is you start realizing why he acts so quirky, why he does certain things, why at times he's even gone so far to endanger and fuck over this guy. You realize, oh shit, like the guy is no longer thinking, and like even if he says it right there, he walks into the crowd and gets ripped to fucking shreds. And the whole time he's still talking to him saying, well, let's hopefully next time you last longer and you figure a way out, because we have all of eternity to get past this point of time till we hit the next roadblock. And then he fucking dies because he no longer sees himself in that same line of mortality. And it just starts putting in perspective everything up to this point. And with Kang, and so far I've seen, is you have a guy who's part of the multiverse. You even show at the end of freaking Quantumania where you have the Council of Kang. So they're even aware there's other versions of himself. How he acts, how Mario is, there is no presence that delivers that. This guy is like almost godly. Like there is not like this sort of that sense of detachment of normal mortality anymore. So he doesn't feel as big as he should have. He just feels like just another guy in the freaking Marvel universe.
Well, no, the perception, the thing though, is that each of them, if they stay in contact through, as they say, through normal means, exchange of data or whatever, they learn from each other. But the problem is with Kang is that each one of them is the board conqueror, and if one of them dies, that particular one is gone, and the other ones don't learn anything from the situation, and each one in turn has played a different tactics, if you will, in terms of what they want. It's not always it hasn't always been conquest of the universe. The only character that Kang loves or cares about, which is his big like other side plot, is Ravonna, the who was portrayed as the other time agent in Loki. What happens is that she's a queen in their own future of some other kingdom, and what happens is that Kang falls for her, but during a conflict with another version of himself, the other version ends up killing Ravonna, or almost killing her. She's at death's door, and he ends up going into a Mr. Freeze kind of like puts her in a stasis field kind of thing. So what happens is one of his other side plots, and again, they're not showing all this because they were partly because it's badly executed. I don't disagree with that either. But But the thing is that there is a lot going for the character. Also, each of the different roles or tactics. For example, one of the things is they could very well introduce the X-Men through Kang, not just because of the multiverse, but because one of his iterations, Rama Tut, was the pharaoh during the time, or a pharaoh during the time of when Abin Sur, I think that's his name, was basically a slave before he got all its powers. So the thing is, they tied that together back some time ago as well. There's also the part about there's also the part with Doom and one of the iterations of Rama Tut. They ended up meeting together, and in order to get parts for his own time machine, what happens is that because his was broken, he tricked Dr. Doom into saying that it could very well be that Doom's a descendant of Rama Tut, so you better not kill me.
The problem that I had with these films is that unless you know
I'm not saying
all of that,
films. I'm saying that
no. Unless you know everything that you know about all the lore and everything, it's not going to make sense. I mean,
it doesn't make sense even if you do know.
Right, that's kind of the problem that they have with a lot of these things, like the Star Trek 2009 stuff. I think in Comics said something about a film here recently. If you take it as just a film, it's enjoyable. I'll take D&D as an example.
Another sci-fi film. Yeah,
I thought D&D was a good film. It is not the D&D film I would have made, right? Yeah. But it is a D&D film that someone else might have made. And I enjoyed it for what that is.
Because
right.
It looks
so
like
I just wanted to
gamers. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Joe's on, and he's left. So I have obviously introduced him while he is gone.
No, I just thought everybody's
Here.
avatar was up,
Welcome.
so I figured I better put mine up.
Hey, Joe.
You know.
Yep.
What's going on,
He's
guys?
scared. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Good to see
Howdy,
you.
Joe.
Doing fantastic, man. Just finished our deck out back. I had an electrician really do me a great job. I asked for 4 outlets, right? And he puts me 8 plugs out there. You know.
Nice.
So your electrician plugged your deck 8 times.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right, got it.
That's exactly
I'm going to do
it.
this for myself.
Damn, that's one hell of a
You
service.
should.
But yeah, doing great, man. We finished up the deck, and we got a few more things to do, but we are one step closer to watching some movies on the outside of Casa de Rivers. So
that's awesome.
You know, there we go.
Nice.
Now the question is, what would be the inaugural films?
Oh man, you know I'm struggling
Debbie
with
does
that
Dallas, Sherry does
No,
Shreveport.
dude. I've
Those are my films.
I've got the Brood living next door to me, man. I've got a pair of people that don't know what contraception is, and they keep pumping out puppies. If you understand what I'm saying? No, I can't do that. No. There's about 6 kids living next
Mexican
door.
Iron Man.
So first,
yeah, it's about that
Reuben
next to
bitch,
you?
no doubt.
Yeah,
But,
QBG.
Yeah,
QBG.
I really like, and I'm probably gonna get laughed at, but the first time I used my HD projector, and it was a few years back, I watched Man of Steel on it. So I'm actually leaning towards that one, and I like that movie. So, you know, I might maybe that one, but you know, I haven't watched that Star Cruiser go over my head chasing Princess Leia's ship in a long time. You know, the original Star Wars, that might be one that I put on. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of
just gotta
choices.
savor it now because they're about to relight the bonfire.
I know. I walked in here and you guys are having a huge discussion about Kang, and I'm like, man, that's nothing compared to. Oh my gosh, yeah, Kathleen. Ray is coming back, right?
Ooh. Star Wars is saved, everyone.
It's saved,
Don't
everyone.
worry. Don't worry, guys. John Favreau and Dave Filoni are just waiting for the moment. They're going to come in and canonize everything. It's going to be great.
Bullshit.
There's no chance that Favreau's going to be out of the studio within the next year or two because he was only at Star Wars Civilization while Filoni is supposedly having a very emotional moment with the crowd, just sitting there, blank face, where you look at him, and the longer you look at him, you start realizing he's really fucking pissed with Filoni. There's no way. I'm probably imagining that. I don't
Every
think
time I
Google
think of
knows.
Filoni, I think of this.
Who's pissed off with Filoni?
Favreau. Like,
Yeah,
if you
Favreau,
watch-
they've been destroying him. That's what they've been doing, is
Yeah.
taking people that are getting things done and making money and getting rid of them. They're
Oh, yeah,
at
they're
that
just
vindictive
breaking
stage.
them. Like, do you guys remember?
They're not
when
getting
Boba
rid of them
Fett
because of
had
making money. They're
connection
getting
with
rid of them
Favreau?
because of the politics.
Well, I don't know.
It's-
Favreau, I think, is just as much into that stuff as others. He just was making good stuff that was making Kathleen Kennedy and
He doesn't
and
let it
Filoni
get in the
look
way of
bad.
his creativity. That's the thing with Favreau, and that's what I can
Right.
respect him. Yeah, the thing with Favreau is this: is with the whole Disney thing too. Is even if you have the same politics, the fact is, it's that assembly line. You follow our orders, like basically you're marching goose step with every how they want it. Because remember Boba Fett actor? Because this is what I was wondering for a while. He mentioned he called up Favreau, and this is the change you want. He says, "Well, okay, let's not change the script. We have to go so far as rewriting scenes, whatever. How about I move some of Boba Fett's lines to the co-star, the one chick that he's with, so I can remain more mysterious or stoic. So I'm more silent, so I don't speak as much." And he said Favreau's response is like he sighed and he just went, "Just please read the script." And to me, that sounds like a man who, like, it doesn't sound like a guy. It sounds like a guy who's defeated. Like, I'm looking back on it now because you look at all the shit he's been through, especially after firing Regina, and how they just blew up all his plans, and then probably all the shit he probably happened behind the
He probably had
scenes
2 or
whatever.
3 shows based on characters out of that they've gotten rid of, because Gina was so popular.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah, it's a
character's
Midnight
Cara
Edge
Dune.
said it
She's
best.
still,
She was
Cara
a
Dune is still the
load-bearing
most
pin.
popular one at all of these shows.
Yeah.
Drunk 3PO said that, so it's
Midnight's
not
Edge even
wrong.
said on the show she was a load bearing a pillar that they didn't realize by knocking her out they collapsed everything. So
they'll eat
it
their
really
own.
feels like
That's
to me,
how
and you're
it's-
seeing it now, is Favreau is broken. Disney broke his spirit. So it's like he's at that state where
Are you
you're
trying to
still
tell me
doing it. You're
that
still
Lucasfilm is
working.
impulsive and does things without thinking?
Yeah.
No, we would never say that.
Never accuse him of
No.
that.
Or
No.
you- yeah.
No. But you know
Speaking
that
of
feeling,
a load
guys, like
of
when you
something-
failed at something, but you're not quite ready to admit that it's like failed. Like you're still working, you're still trying, but you until you hit that point where finally you're like, you have to face the fact you don't have it in you anymore. Like it's done. You failed here. You got to move on. Like it feels like Favreau's at that state where he's still pushing forward, still trying to do the Star Wars, but the actual spirit behind it's been broken. And I think he's finally hitting that
Probably 'cause it
stage
has
of he's
been.
admitting he's
Are you sure?
like, it's done.
Are you
And
sure
he's
you
ready
feel-
to leave.
Are you sure you feel this way about you? Are you feel this way? Are you sure? Because what makes you think Favreau it's really not really.
It's
Not-
in
not-
the
not-
work.
not happy with-
You can feel it in the quality of the work because he is still involved. That's the thing you have to say. Even with Mandalorian right now,
I don't know.
He is
I
still
don't know.
heavily involved.
I don't know.
And you can see just the laziness behind it. You can see there's a lack of spirit. Like the first Mandalorian, for as bland as it was decent. Like if Star Wars in a healthy state, that would have been the lowest bar you would have seen out of Star Wars. And you still could be entertained by it and enjoy. Like there, you can see he still had a fire in him. He was still trying. There was still effort. But you can see as these years have gone on with each of these series, it has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker to the point where some of the most obvious bullshit that you would have looked at and say, no, let's redo that. We can do that in a slightly different way so it's at least a little better. They're like, no, we'll just take the first draft. I just want to get this shit out. It's like, it reminds me of like
I'm
me
pretty
when
sure
I
it's
was
because
teaching
Kathleen
college.
Kennedy's now telling him what to do.
Yeah.
No, exactly
I
what
think
I
that's
said.
pretty much it.
That's
The
what it
student
is.
is
Yeah.
broken.
I don't know. No, I don't know, man. I equally don't trust us Favreau. I don't really trust Favreau. He's something. His writing it's just like for Filoni. It's just like pretty
It's
just
the
like Filoni's just
assertion that Ike Perlmutter, who was in charge of Disney before, I mean, not in Disney, in charge of Marvel before they started making before it got bought out by Disney, and he ended up becoming a part of it. It's been alleged, like Midnight's Edge and Valiant Renegade, and that they've been going on and saying that it is because of Perlmutter's attitudes and behaviors that Marvel didn't sync back in the 90s because he was in charge of the toy division of it back then, and during the early phases of the MCU, because he still had some sort of authoritative capacity up until they took that away from him in 2015, which is why everything starts going to crap immediately afterwards, or at least that's been their statement to that effect.
It's basically, I think you're 100% correct on that. It's been going off the rails ever since then.
I do somewhat agree with you, Terminus, about Favreau. I think one of the issues with Favreau is I do think he genuinely cares about Star Wars, or at least he did. Whether he had the skill to handle it or not is another issue, and you could sort of see, like even early on, he said he brought in Filoni, so he had the guy where it's like, I want to do this, I want to do it right. Can I trust you to help me like do quality control? Because I don't think I can do the quality myself. Like I don't have that level of skill. It's sort of like he wanted to be like original George Lucas, where he had the raw ideas, but he needed that team to help him refine and get that shit done correctly. Like Favreau tried to replicate that, but the guy he brought in to help him was no help at all. In fact, stabbed him in the back.
I don't think anything that Disney has done with Star Wars has been good. Any of it. I don't think I don't. None of the Marvel stuff, none of it has been any good. And I go back to like the Mandalorian. It was never good. There was never anything good about that show.
I agree. It was awful.
From the beginning to the end, nothing. So
it was a nothing
for
show.
those of us that were in the theater when Star Wars came out, and you're sitting there and they go through the opening credit, and you're like, oh, we're gonna have opening credits and all that stuff, and you have a few previews. There's not like 400 of them like there are now. There may be 3, 4. So they go through those, and then bam, Star Wars hits you. How do those things start? Right? Galaxy far, far away. Okay, all right. And then wham, here comes John Williams. You're in. You're hooked. They hooked you in Star Wars before you ever saw one bit of the movie.
Yep.
And the best part of The Mandalorian, up until the last 3 episodes, has been the credits.
Yeah.
Moon
Knight. Because
part of Moon
the
Knight,
geeks
credits.
among us used to collect the friggin' art, and they always show that at the end of it. The production art that they use.
But it looks like they're using AI art.
Right.
They're having the AI stuff. I think Comix in his latest video that showed us all how we too can become a Disney Plus writer.
Yes.
Nice plug,
10 easy
by the way.
steps, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
10 easy steps. Yeah.
That's right. But that showed ChatGPT writing a much better plot than anything we've gotten out of Mandalorian at all. And it just, when a pseudo language generation platform outperforms you, that has to be dejecting. It's disheartening.
Disney's just doing what they always do. They're gearing it towards girls. They're putting nothing but females in it, and
which is they bought Star Wars to bring on more boys to expand their business. And what did they do? I don't.
They pandered to the girls.
Fucked it up.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the thing is that the interest, what happens is that they're showing with Mario Brothers, which is that, and a lot of other films, the fact that the guy is a guy is the lead is not so much the problem. Women like seeing that. What happens is that the problem is that the people who are doing the writing, when it went to like 4th generation feminism, it's like, all right, 3rd generation, I guess most of us grew up in that, which was it went from like, hey, can we have a vote? Hey, can we have have things evened out like affirmative action, which I absolutely despise. And then it went, but now it's kind of like, no. Now we get to put men down and it's kind of like that doesn't work out. And the thing is, for the most
It's
part,
an eye for an eye.
women don't like that either. That's the thing. Yes, they want to see, they don't want to be denied the opportunity. You can't do it because you're a girl. No, it's you can't do it because you can't do it, and that's fine, or because you don't want to do it.
And they're also losing their female audience as well.
Yes,
because there's a lot of people that like the male characters being written normally. I guess I don't know what to say.
Being written like male characters,
and so there's a lot of people women out there that have checked out. How many women are out there doing this kind of stuff? We had MagTech Mags on last night. They're done with that kind of stuff. And there are people like Tina Bojan and I think some others that enjoy this. That's fine. But it just all estrogen all the time isn't going to work.
No,
it's going to work for about 40% of the population.
It's not just the estrogen, as all you said there. Like the women are checking out because it's not just that they're putting all the women. It's also, how I said, it's an eye for an eye. It's pure spite that you see because, like, oh, now that we can go after the men. Like it's just pure ugly spite, and it's like that. It's ugly to everyone. So even the women, they're like, dude, why are you attacking that dude? Like, what did he do to you? What the hell's going on here? It's like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, well,
where
the
did
pendulum
the incel touch you? Show me on the doll, please.
Right. Well, the pendulum's starting to swing back. I mean, we're seeing indications of that. I'm sure every married person on this panel has what I like to call brainless television. You and your mate like to watch, when you want to do your own thing and entertain yourselves. Me and my wife like to watch Law and Order occasionally, and we'll pick a series and revisit it that we watched in the past. The one we're watching right now is True Blood on HBO. We're like, we're fixing to start the 6th season of. Well, I mean, she was a big fan, but if you watch that show, it's the men that carry the show. The female is the main character of the show, but all the characters around her are men.
Yeah,
and they're all
it's all about.
Yeah,
not Bill. It's all about Eric Northman.
Eric Northman, exactly. Yeah, and he
was the best thing in that show.
He was,
and it's all support. And the thing is that the other characters provide support, and it's okay if they're the lead. It's just like my favorite guy hero action movie in one respect is Steven Seagal's Under Siege, because and why that one? Because that's the one that involves the aircraft carrier, and he can't do it all by himself. No matter how struggling he is, it's just too big of a scale of a problem. It's not like Die Hard where there's only like 8 or 10 robbers that he can kind of handle, and then he has to not get killed by the FBI and stuff like that. And in this one, he can't. He literally cannot control the ship and get all the goals accomplished without the backup team. And the thing is that I like that. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it's the scale and proportion. Yeah. Steven Seagal. The difference between him and Jean-Claude Van Damme is one seems to be doing their acting lessons as they're doing their takes, and the other one seems to be taking an acting class or two in between the movies. That's the difference in how good of an actor each one of them is.
That's fine.
That's good stuff.
But no,
I love how Randall brings up MILF Manor.
The same thing for any other
MILF Manor. Oh my God, please!
But interesting.
I can tell you, I saw all 9 episodes.
Joe and I are permanent members of MILF Manor.
Oh,
just letting you guys know, it's a retirement community.
That's
right. They have.
I should know. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
No,
it's where Reuben goes, Mexico. Baby.
My God, I got invited to something. It was like really weird. Anyway, but no, but
you boys like Mexico?
Oh.
Sorry, that was a little bit of Super Troopers.
But one question I had to ask, or one comment per se, when it comes to like Under Siege, the whole idea there that you have the government actively going out and getting people who are psychotic, who are out of the box thinkers, that whole like lone wolf, they do that. That's what they do. They find these people. This is the movie. I'm just saying what the plot of the movie was. And then then when they say cut out the program, this guy goes off because he's been trained to do these things. So that's the whole idea. And then again, who knows? It may be real now. I know. Just saying.
Never know.
Well, that's another reason to like it. I said, I liked it because it was one of those. It's too much. It's too much, even for Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I like Above the Law. That's my favorite movie with him. So,
is it too much for Steven Seagal? Sorry,
I don't think anything's too much for him, except for maybe the menu. But
King.
A belt.
A belt.
He's so skilled he can fight from a chair.
Yes,
John Wick doesn't stand a chance.
I want to see who would win in the chair fight.
I'm looking forward to those pork chops.
Steven Seagal.
I see my partner, the Dork Knight, is in the chat. We just got done interviewing a young lady named Nikki Victory. She is a independent wrestler that is starting to work her way into some of the bigger promotions. It's a lot of fun, man.
That's cool.
Can't wait to. Interesting. Yeah, he's going to cut that, and we're going to put it on a future Dork Side of the Ring that we do on Sundays on Pop Culture Minefield. It should be a lot of fun. She was a sweetheart. She is got a lot going for her. Her husband's a wrestler. They seem to be having a ball doing it. They're up in the Cincinnati area, I think, is what she said. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Man.
That's cool.
Yep.
I had a question about. I had a question about one of the rumors. Just one last touchback about KK. Both Doomcock and Midnight's Edge and what's the deal about that meeting that supposedly took place where Iger actually put Kathleen Kennedy on the carpet and said, if Indy 5 fails, you get fired immediately.
Stop teasing me, man.
I doubt it.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Happened,
actually, because Midnight said something else. Midnight said theirs was, if Indy 5 fails, we'll start considering your termination. And then that's where, like, through Doomcock side, he kept saying where Iger, it wasn't even directly that Iger said, like, oh, we'll terminate you. He said, I will destroy your legacy. Here.
I'm just wondering how many.
Taking the fall for stuff.
I'm just wondering how many.
She's not getting fired. Like,
if anything, they're just not going to renew her contract in 3 years.
Yeah,
God. Okay.
She's going to finish her term. There's no possible reason or way she doesn't finish her term.
I'm wondering how many Anheuser-Busch executives are going to get axed.
Probably none. Seriously, probably none.
Only if it continues. If the shit continues long enough, then they may have to throw somebody overboard as like a freaking sacrificial lamb. But yeah,
not anymore. They'll just lose people in the bottom end. I mean, we didn't talk about this last night, but BlackRock is funding all this stuff.
Yep.
So they're continually putting money back in and money back in. You know, so they'll stick with this until they've changed whatever.
And Liz Warren wants them to change. Considered too big to fail.
Right.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool.
The other companies are just taking their market share, so they'll lose market share, but still be around. But oh well. But no, for the KK thing, essentially what it sounds like is she's gonna lose her bulletproof armor. What it means, so from this point on, if like Indy fails, it's not that she's gonna get canned. Because let's be fair, it's like even Pico said, she's too powerful to can them directly, and she knows enough people in the business. Like, this is the best analogy I've heard, and it's from a game that I've heard used from a game where it's like she's like a hedgehog, not enough meat, too much fucking trouble to get to it. So it's not worth dealing with the hedgehog. Like the irony is, she's the value that Star Wars to the point that the extra damage they would take getting rid of her is now worth what Star Wars is currently worth because if she devalued it, ironically.
All I know is she's got to have pictures of Iger playing golf with Satan or something. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Or Epstein Island. Something about Epstein Island,
Right?
I guess.
Yep.
Potentially, yeah.
Hey, she was like a Maxwell. She went out. She said she was the secretary. She went out. She called these people up, like, "Oh, hey, it's Kathy here. Oh, Kathy, hey, you're calling on behalf of George? Yeah." I was like, "Hey, how are you?" It's like she's the one talking to these people, making interaction. That's why she was able to leak the Headland show and sort of get away, because you saw the whole media fell over themselves to report on it on her behalf. She still has power and influence. It's just what basically, if Indy 5 fails, they'll stop pretending that she's bulletproof. She'll start getting smudged, slings that are basically open season. So,
does
PR
anybody even want to go see that movie? I mean,
I do, because it looks like fucking shit.
Wait, okay, this is a one of those
so bad
guilty pleasures. You want to go see it?
There's a line in the trailer that is just the greatest thing ever. It's what was it? It was Hitler made mistakes, and you know,
What?
What
trailer?
The new trailer.
Oh, I know what line you're talking about.
Yeah,
Matt Nicholson says it. Hitler made mistakes, and I will begin to make it right.
Oh no, God! No. In the indie trailer, they say this.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
To be
Holy
fair,
shit!
I believe it's
No.
a Nazi. I believe it's
He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Logistically, that is true.
It's just funny. It's just really funny.
The implication being the Nazis going to go back in time and basically help the Nazis win the World War. Like, that's, I think, the implication there. Is like
time traveling Nazis.
So, yeah.
Oh, God.
How can this not be the worst and best thing ever?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you're 100% on that. It is certainly going to be the best and worst thing ever.
Yeah, but they'll probably equate Nazi with some Trumpier thing or whatever like that, or Americanism or whatever.
Well, they took a shot at capitalism for no reason.
Something's going to happen. Crazy.
So yeah, probably.
Oh, jeez.
That shit was funny. He was like, it's theft. It's like, it's theft, but it's also other known as capitalism. I was like, really?
Fuck off with that.
I was like, isn't that also socialism then, technically?
It is, actually.
If that's your standard,
exactly
if that is your standard,
actually.
that's what it is.
But they never want to call out socialism. Jeez.
Like, if that's your standard, then literally every form of economic commerce is basically falls under that standard.
Bad joke for the day. What's the difference between a dictatorship, communism, socialism, and democracy?
What?
The size of the planning committee.
That's actually kind of my point.
Where's the joke?
Exactly.
Oh,
it's a political joke.
Reminds me, I dropped the link in the private chat. I'm gonna drop it again. Maybe you can, because I don't have the stream open because I think that's what was screwing up my internet earlier. I'm gonna drop it again in private chat. Because that one YouTuber I watch, he does these deep dive videos into various things like politics. Whatever. He did one on Gramsci. Basically, it's called the True Origins of Critical Race Theory. And he did a deep dive going to Gramsci, his books, the prison notebooks. Then later, too, I believe it's the Fausthaus Institute, which was heavily influenced by his works, which left Europe, came here to America, and is actually where critical theory itself came from. And from critical theory is where it fractured, and that's where you get critical race theory, intersectionality critical theory. You get the socialist critical theory. Like, all of the shit right now we're dealing with the progressives is the reason why so many of them end up being socialists, or they stand with the socialists, because a lot of them are essentially reading off this playbook, which is the critical theory, which was made basically by the Socialist Institute.
Well, I mean, critical theory... I mean, everything is descended from critical theory. Critical race theory, critical gender theory, which is basically what we're seeing a lot of right now. So yeah, it's a big fucking mess.
I don't know. It's like a very good watch, because just him going into the details, and you can see how it all just branched up. Even Parvati, as he talks about how part of the reason that led into the critical theory side was early on was Mussolini, was when the whole branch happened with the socialists. The ones going with Mussolini turning into fascists, and the rest going with Gramsci's side, which end up becoming later the critical theorists or such.
Right. Yeah. It's a mess. But what can you do at this point?
But I just want to share the video, because if anyone is interested, it is a really good watch. It's very informative and such, and pretty entertaining. Like ShortFat does some really good videos when he's not shit posting on Twitter.
I mean, that's all Twitter's good for, really. What's that?
No, I said he pisses off BreadTube all the time. Because the thing is, he used to be a communist himself, like one of these radical. Like he even admits it. Like he used to be like one of those radical brick throwing college communists. Because like in the video, he shows it. He still had because he looked. And he's like he still has his critical theory book from college that he took the class in.
Damn.
So he was an indoctrinated person. Now he's like he's a centrist now. And he still hangs out with the old group because he was part of the original anti-SJW class crowd. So he's good friends with Sargon, Arch, Two-on-Head. There's been like a really nice guy right there. Yeah.
All right.
So he's in that crowd group, and he's been consistent through the years. Like he's still been standing by his pals. He's been he even said like not one of his streams. He said like the whole thing with the political sphere is he's learned through the years to be able to spot the people that they're the people who just want to talk to you, to exchange ideas and literally just chat because they hear about you and they think you're interesting. And then there are those who are just there to use you for clout. Because he used to be friends with half of the BreadTubers. It's part of the reason why they hate him so much is because he keeps throwing their past in their face where he's like, yeah, you used to do this. Hey, I still have your DMs. Here's all their shit, just calling out their hypocrisy. And they despise him for it every time.
Why are they called BreadTubers? I never fully understood that. Is it because of bread lines?
Yes, something to do with the bread lines of socialism, somewhere around there.
Gotcha.
It was like the idea is like everyone will get their slice of bread. It's like the whole idea is like everyone will get their piece, sort of thing.
That's a good thing.
Their position as bread lines are a good thing.
Yeah, they're a good thing.
Yes,
yeah.
They're retarded. They didn't really think it through.
We'll all be on the same level playing field, and then there'll be a few up at the top reaping all the benefits.
Direct quote from Bernie Sanders. That's a good thing.
Happen.
They all kind of forget how many people starved to death when communism was actually implemented in Russia.
No, of course they do. I mean, why would they remember that?
Well, I mean, it's because people are stupid, right? Yeah. And individuals are fine. People are stupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how that goes. You get people outside of a group, and they don't have that collective thing going on, and they're more reasonable. And that's one of the things of an exploding population. You have more group than you have individual. You've got this entire group that all thinks the same. They're not thinking for themselves, and eventually, like locusts, they will overeat and destroy what's around them, and then have a mass extinction event. That's how it happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm actually going to quote Andrew Tate here, but it actually reminds me, it perfectly sums up these people. Because I was watching the interview with him and Zuby, and he mentioned it. And I said, it sums these people up perfectly. Because I said with the whole bread lines are all equal, it's like they always think they're going to be the ones on top or they'll be fine. Like, no, you'll be in the bread line too. And Andrew Tate said it best. He says, if you're so weak, and I'm so driven that I can kick your ass under communism, then guess what? If we were to turn under capitalism, if we were to turn to communism or socialism, I'll kick your ass too, because I'll still be just as driven, still be wanting to succeed. I'll ensure I end up in the top with the party line, and you'll still be on the bottom with the rest in the dirt, groveling for your scraps like you are now. Because changing the system doesn't change the fact that you yourself are a weak individual. And that's basically what it is with a lot of these so-called like socialists and who keep jumping on these bandwagons and movements here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made an April Fool's meme, one of those fake headlines, and it said the reason why Andrew Tate was released from prison revealed Biden named him the diplomatic attaché to Romania. You know, that's why he was released. You know, too funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty on
do they
point,
have anything on that
it.
guy? I mean, I'm not out now defending him, but you know, they kept him in jail for damn near 4 months, and they're filing charges against him, but they haven't said what they've got at all. You know.
Well, the thing with Tate, like this, because I like Ataco actually did a few videos on him, and he sums it up perfectly. He says, let's say he is 100% innocent of all of this bunk up charges. The guy is still a very bad person. He's not someone to look up to, someone to idolize. And he said that right there is part of the reason too if you take it, say he's innocent, all this, and just look at the facts there of how he is, how he treats him, all this bullshit, that right there is probably why they kept him locked up, because he looks like the kind of guy who would do all of this.
Yeah.
So even if he is fully innocent, they're not going to believe him right away. They're going to be very careful in letting him go, because they're going to be like, you really look like you're the guy who would do it. It's like if you look at some guy who looks like the stereotypical like psycho killer who would murder you, and then someone gets murdered, he's going to be like the first guy you look at, be like, was it you? And they'd be like, the one time where he's like, actually, no, it wasn't me. It was somebody else. But everyone's going to be thinking, is like, I don't know. You look like you did it.
Right.
Like that, like even for Tate, if he is innocent, it would still be getting drawn out so long because of the way he is as a person, how he runs his company, all that shit.
He doesn't do himself any favors, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he is not a good guy. He is not a good
He is
guy.
a good guy. Again, he's an entrepreneur. He's doing his thing, and again, people are jealous, I guess. You know.
Oh no, yeah, he's successful. There's no doubt about it. I'm just talking about in a moral ethics wise. What has he done? He's actually the opposite of, like, it was funny because I was watching the videos, even you listen to some of it, like I get what some of it comes from, but I've been on the internet long enough too, where I also see some of the manipulation, how he handles it. So like I do agree with some of the stuff in there, but at the same time, a lot of stuff I agree with is stuff I've heard before used by other guys. And then as I said, you look at how he conducts stuff, the way he does the business. Like there was the one part even the talker says, like, if you really look in deep into it, how it is there, it's like, is this the guy
he's scammed people
before?
There's some fucked up shit that he's straight up
like that was the thing. He said conservatives are going out to bat for the guy who is basically half of how he runs shit is the antithesis of conservative values. Like this is the guy who really goes, gets your daughter and to sleep with your daughter, and then convinces her to whore herself out to make him more money. Like that is partially how he got his visit, and part of the reason why he's being investigated for all of this shit.
Yeah, it's. I
still say this is the reason why he was released earlier.
What was the reason?
Oh, I've got it in the share thing. If you want to put it up.
I still think it's all of the story. What you hear with the story is incorrect. It's all lying.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, it's the only person I got with that was my mother. Yeah,
that's funny.
She's the only one that
that's pretty funny.
Thought it was real.
That's funny.
Nice.
It has your logo in it, though.
It was smart he went after Biden, because if he went after Clinton, he would have disappeared in the jail cells.
Yep. Would have been gone.
It would have been nice knowing Joe.
Yep. I've been gone. But hey, I like to live dangerously, you know.
So what you're saying is you have information on... I'm kidding.
Don't even joke about that.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
Hillary Hinton.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh,
Rebel exclusive coming soon.
That was like my joke video I did about why the Georgia Guidestones were taken out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they had information on Hillary Clinton.
What if that's why? What if that really was the case? Someone went in there and just carved in information. They'd be like, "Yeah, I just carved in information that lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton," and then that's why it got blown up mysteriously. They'd be like, "Oh, you want to destroy something, sabotage someone, or get someone removed? Just say they have information on the Clintons, and boom, problem solved."
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd like to apologize for Hillary Clinton, since she is, for you who were born in the 60s, she was a student of Saul Alinsky of the Weathermen.
Yes, she was.
And she was born and lived in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Oh, God. Apology not accepted. We're going to need more than that.
Park Ridge, is that where that guy was? No, that was Highland Park. Never mind.
Highland Park? What?
Highland Park.
No, the thing, that shooting thing that happened a while back.
Highland Park.
Oh, Parkland.
Oh, Parkland.
Oh, Parkland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Highland Park and Norwich are these two independent towns/suburbs that are literally surrounded on all sides by the city of Chicago, because they refused to join with the rest of the city, as the other parts of the city decided to give up their own identity as a separate town and joined with the city as a whole over the decades. That's why they made a big fuss. They got their own police force. You don't go into Highland Park or Norwich without, without permission, etc. They've got their own fire department, etc., etc. So
we did a story not too long ago. My brother picked this guy as the Simple Jack Award winner. We when we do our show, he always finishes it up with the Simple Jack Award winner. Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder. The idiot of the week basically is what it is, and it was somebody that left Cook County into another county and said he'd be out by nightfall, and they threw him in jail for like 22 years or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a police chase. He left Cook County and went into a bordering county, and they threw the book at his ass.
Oh, good.
Like, don't bring that down here, you sons of bitches. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah. I can't remember which county it was, though. Did you see that story, Tox? Do you know what I'm talking about?
DuPage?
I'm not sure. Let me.
I mean, if it went south, it was DuPage. I think.
I'll see if I can find it real quick. Okay. It was funny though. Oh my god!
It sounds like a different
ass off. Because this guy was openly telling the cops when they were arresting him that I'll be out by tonight. Talking shit, and they threw the book at him.
Good.
Yep.
Never want to do that. Hey, I just saw this right now. Popped up in my messages. I know my feed. So I know you guys were talking about D&D earlier. Did you hear what they replaced half race with?
Nothing. I thought.
No, they just replaced it. It's coming out right now. The Wizard of the Coast replaces inherently racist half race with children of different humanoid kinds.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
man!
Whatever.
Oh.
Well,
that is the official description. Yeah. You're no longer a half elf. Yeah.
Children of other humanoid kind. Whatever.
How dare you?
Seriously, God. I mean, that is dumb. That's like the dumbest thing I've heard.
Yes, it's dumb, but did it?
I'm pretty sure this is making me retarded. Yep, it's making me retarded. That's right, Comix Division is making you retarded. It's making me retarded, too.
Yeah. The irony is this sounds more dehumanizing. It's like, you're part of a different humankind. It's like, what the hell?
I don't even play D&D, but man, just not only sounds retarded, but that's too much of a mouthful. Unnecessarily too much of a mouthful,
I found it.
Yeah, like Latin
for Wizards of the Coast.
It's a mouthful of something, that's for sure.
I'm gonna put it in the private chat, Tox. You can check.
Oh, good.
This guy looks the part too. Hang on.
Oh,
there you go, bud. Check that out and see if you want to share it. He was a carjacker, Lakeview carjacker.
Oh, he went to Will County. Oh, yeah. So you can see in the image, there's like farmland and all that stuff. Yeah. You go too far, and they're like, you're in the wrong place. And that's a lot of the problem that happened here in Illinois. It's really just the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
that's this real problem. The rest of the state's pretty red.
Mm-hmm.
And it, red, blue. The reason it goes back and forth is that the parties go back and forth.
Yeah,
the people and their sensibilities pretty much stay the same. And most everybody just wants to be left alone. From there, and people decide they don't want to.
It was funny. I don't know if you saw. It was funny. I saw it happen with Quartering on Twitter. He mentioned how, because it reminds me of a conversation I had with some of my buddies. Because one of my friends lives in Texas currently, and another guy, he's from freaking England, and he was talking about animals on the property. And I brought this up again because according to a picture, had a raccoon coming near his property. And I was like, if the raccoon, if he comes over here, my dog's gonna rip him to shreds. And I don't want to kill it, try to scare him off, but he's coming back. And there's like all those people in the responses, of course, they're like, why don't you just call animal control? Just call animal control. It's like they live out in the middle of nowhere now. Who's gonna come out here for your animal control is the 22 you carry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I had that argument with one of my buddies because we were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, what if you do when you live in a rural place? Like, 30 minutes to an hour or two away from like basically anybody, and you encounter like wildlife, like a bear or mountain lion or whatever, and freaking the guy was like, "Well, you just call animal control." I'm like, "Did you not just hear what I said?"
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I lived out
animal
that way.
control my ass.
Is Reuben? Is Reuben here? I see his mic muted.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay, Reuben, because I was going to say, to touch on, to kind of touch on what Markman says, like, I'm pretty sure, like, right now the only animals that you allow on your property are Playboy bunnies.
That's true.
Yes.
Very true. Very true.
Where's that?
Oh God! And it was just Easter.
Yeah,
I know. Oh, happy Easter.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you had a very happy Easter.
I did.
The gamers out there, did you ever
I did.
play Playboy the Mansion? It was like Sims, only you played as Hugh Hefner. Did you ever play that game? It was on PS2.
I had no idea that was even a thing.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
that
It
was
was on
a- I
PS2.
remember-
You could shoot. I think they had them in their bottom underwear, but just bare boobs. You could shoot centerfolds and stuff like that. You had to juggle. You were playing as Hef. It was like playing The Sims, but you were constantly building the mansion. You built a grotto out back. You produced a magazine every month. You had to hold parties, and you had to juggle 5 girlfriends at once and keep them all happy. It was a ridiculous game, man. It was
That
nuts.
sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it was
saw
great.
it
It's called
as a
multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw as a kid. I walk in.
Well, I was wondering if you'd ever played it, Reuben, because it sounded like your life, bro.
I am. I do manage.
Was that the original version of the game or the one with the Viagra expansion?
Right?
Well, there's kind of a funny saying they say about senior project managers or like things people that I do what I do. It's called herding cats. So yes, I herd pussies all the time.
There you go.
Where you know. Thank you.
Reuben.
No, I remember when I walked into Blockbuster and I see like, wait, is that a Playboy bunny cover in the video game rack? Because I'm there to like rent the video game. I'm there. I'm looking around. I'm like, holy shit! And I grab it because it came with a special slip-on case. Like every time I saw that game when it first came out, they had a blue slip-on case where it's like tinfoil blue with the white Playboy bunny on it. They didn't say anything else. You had to slip it off and you could see the game itself. And I was like, this looks amazing.
Holy
I was
cow.
like,
I'm reading through this article.
With this game.
Yeah, I told you. It's nuts.
So he stole it in one county, drove to another, and then told the cops, I'll be out by Sunday. But so he drives the car, crashes it into a ditch, starts running away. They sent the dogs after him. They took him into custody. One of the counts against him was a count for punching Hades, one of the police dogs that brought him into custody.
Oh my god!
An officer. That's right.
You punched a dog, dude. You have you seen John Wick? Dipshit.
Right.
And normally they would send him back, but in this county, they rejected the motion to go back to Crook County because they say he continued to exert unauthorized control of the stolen vehicle, a Volkswagen Jetta. Who steals that? In Will County. So they said continuation. It's in here. You got caught
problem
here.
with Volkswagen
Tough.
Jettas?
Yeah. What?
No, I lived in.
What's the problem with Volkswagen Jettas?
I lived in Will County. It's that's what do you call it? That is between Cook County and Iroquois County, which is Joliet, and Joliet is not. It's not terribly rich place either. So what happens is Will County is gonna be a little bit tough because that is all farmland. So
you go out that way and
and I lived just like my daughter, she's out that way, but I lived like maybe about 2 miles inside the county at one point, and you were saying about the wildlife, no joke. The I was renting out a second floor of a farmhouse at the time, and at night the coyotes would would be coming up to the house at night. You'd hear them going yip 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 yip, because they're the ones that talk. Wolves don't generally go yip yip yip, but they would go up there. And I had dogs at the time, and I was afraid. I was kind of worried about taking my dogs out at night for their nightly walk. Because I did the flashlight, and sure enough, I saw glowing eyes just outside the distance, and they weren't like tiny low to the ground lowrider eyes. They were like up as high as my my pit bull mix. So
coyotes make like the weirdest sounds too. Like they will go and they make a sound that sounds like a woman screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fucking freaky. So this is the cover?
Yep, that's it. That's the one you're looking for when you want to get that game off of eBay or something. It is fun.
I have it open in a window right now because I just want to see, and it popped up on Amazon. The game still sells for $68.99 used on Amazon.
Yep.
When was
still
its
got my original
release?
copy?
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some of those
Came
old
out
video games go
2005.
for a lot. You look up the NCAA football one from 14, the last one they put out. I saw it in a counter at Game Exchange this week for $130, and it was for a PS3 or maybe an Xbox 360. It's $130 because they haven't made an NCAA game since. In 9 years, they haven't made one.
Hey, Joe, you love this. I'm looking at the recommended here, and I remember seeing these games too. It's called Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry.
I love Leisure Suit Larry.
Dude. They don't make enough friggin' adult video games anymore.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I had that one. It was awesome.
Yeah, they have PlayStation 2, Xbox 4, and then they also have a Nintendo Switch version.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been wondering if those games are inspired by Reuben's sex life.
They are. It's like an adult version of Mario. Leisure Suit Larry is. I mean, it started on computer, didn't it? I think that one was.
It was computer.
Yeah. But
and then next to it is another game called Funbox Media.
I'm pretty sure that's
for Nintendo Switch 18
plus.
plus.
Wow.
About that being the adult version of Mario, this is this is the version where he actually gets to lay pipe,
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
You said it was on Nintendo Switch. Was that the tranny version?
No. Way down.
That one.
Oh man, that's a deep cut right there. Ooh.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they sure
The
got
Dylan
that.
version,
That's
right?
very punny. The deep cut was good.
I love how Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams is rated 16 for Nintendo Switch, yet this one next to it called Perky Little Things is rated 18.
Man, those games, if you've never played them, they're hilarious because it's all about a guy trying to get laid and he keeps failing. Even when they throw it at him, he fails at it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No. Remember, in the opening sequence, he can get laid pretty much right away. The problem is that he ends up meeting a woman of the night without a condom, and his privates explode, and you lose the game pretty much immediately.
Yep.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you've only scored like 52 points out of 800 or something like that.
Well, the funny thing about that too is you can still get a condom in Banger.
Yeah. Yes. And then Larry goes on to complain about how somehow it didn't seem spiritually satisfying or something like that.
Well, I love it because like the chick that you're looking for is named Eve.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Those games are just funny, man, and they don't make games like that anymore. They don't push the envelope.
There'll be even more of a that'll be even worse for Larry if she had an Adam's apple.
Oh, that happens to him. That happens to him, I think, in one of the games.
Dude looks like a lady.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's too
Leisure Suit Larry, man. Those were the days.
They were, man.
They were
crazy shit in video games. Now it's all friggin' just kill everything. As much gore as you want in there, but the adult content, that's not in there anymore.
Yeah, people weren't afraid to push the edge. Now it's like we lost so much of that. Like it's fun. Like that's one reason why I like Arch's channel so much, is because he was talking about because I put it when he was on Midnight's Edge. I made a joke about how we're gonna starve the Irish, and he started dying laughing, and he basically said like because he's like me where he's like I find racism funny because it's when you go into the bulk of it is so over the top nonsense. You realize how retarded it is. That's why he said like so his community. Like not too long ago, as I remember, is like they found a bunch of old stuff like the early 1900s, whatever. We're just talking nothing but shit about the Irish, and it was the craziest stuff. The more you were seeing stuff where it's like, oh, you think black people are someone to be afraid of? Well, wait till you see the Irish. They're gonna run off with your children, your wives. They carry wheelbarrows full of beer. Are gonna smash down the gates of the wilds. It's like some of the craziest wild stuff. Like you wonder if the people who made this were on drugs for the most part. It's just hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think that scene is in Blazing Saddles? We'll take the such and such, such and such, such and such and such.
Oh, we don't want the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another movie I really need to see. You know.
You've never seen that, Terminus?
It's a good movie, Terminus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Timeless, buddy. They couldn't make that movie today, though. They could not make that movie today. There's
not the slightest. I love because, like, I mentioned to somebody, it was a guy who was like, "I don't like the 80 movies because so many of them might be racist." I told him, I don't know because they were talking about Blazing Saddles. Chimed in. I said, "Go watch the movie," and even came back. He's like, "Oh my god, I was wrong," because I said, like, the thing about it I love so much is the fact that it doesn't have to go out of its way to be like, oh, this racist guy is bad. It's all horrible, all this stuff. No,
they're laughing at racism in that movie.
Yeah, they allowed him to be themselves, like the racist guy in the beginning where he's like, oh, why don't you go sing us a song or whatever? And they all start singing like some nice freaking like opera or whatever. And the guy's like, no, like that. Like, like Can't That Lady. And he makes a complete ass of himself.
Yeah.
Like,
and except for Jim, they all have their moments.
Yeah.
And at its core, it's a white guy and a black guy working together to beat the bad guys. You know?
Yes.
It's dynamite, man. That movie's awesome.
A great movie.
It doesn't have to like lecture tell you there. It's like we're assuming that you're smart enough to know how bad this is. So we're just gonna show you how these people act when they are truly in this belief. And then you sort of realize like, wow, that's pretty stupid. And you sit there as these people turn into clowns. That's like it reminds me like I remember It's a Gundam recently was on a podcast. They made the joke and they pranked them on the podcast, which is like, hey, we have a room tour of you. And he's like, you got a room tour? I was like, yeah, we have your docs over just to make sure. And they put up a video. And it was a video that's still up on YouTube where like this guy opens the door and he opens it dressed in a Waffen SS uniform. He's just yelling in German. Where he's like, welcome to my room tour. He's got anime figurines lining up the walls. Everything's the biggest weeb thing, but the guy's dressed up as a Nazi. And I was just dying because I was like, dude, because that's the sense of humor. Where it's like when you look like that shit is just so when you look at the core, it's just so stupid because the foundation is so nonsensical. It is the equivalent of wearing a clown suit. Like you put on a clown outfit, an SS uniform, whatever, and a clown suit, all three are the same bar essentially because it's stupid, it's silly. It's only one knows what he is, the other two are in denial about it. Mm-hmm. That's why like they always say like these groups always hate comedy so much because it points out the fact that like you have nothing.
All great comedy comes from truth. Every bit.
Yep. So, yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things. If anything suffered through all of this political correctness we've been dealing with over the last almost a decade, it's comedy. I mean, those guys, hell, they were the first ones to stop going to college campuses, because they were going to face a whole bunch of flack for telling jokes,
Yeah, that's the thing that's so dumb about too. It's like it's a joke, man. It's a joke. Jokes aren't funny.
Words are violence.
Words are violence. Please, come on, man. These people would not know violence if it smacked them upside the head. They wouldn't know what it was.
No, I told that to somebody. I said, if you can say that because you don't genuinely believe it, because if you believe the words are violence, you wouldn't even dare talk to me. Because then what happens if I decide to commit actual violence against you? If you can't handle my words, you sure as hell can't handle me if I decide to swing at you. That's why you can say all this shit, because you genuinely don't believe it. Because if it was true, you would be afraid. Because it'd be like, oh, you really believe all these people, whatever, are Nazis or fascists or whatever? Then I was like, these are the people who don't hesitate to kill you. These are the ones that will put your head on the curb and split your skull open. So you wouldn't want to go face and challenge these guys because especially considering the way you are, because you're a twig, you're short, you're fat, whatever, you would lose. You would be killed by these people.
That's why they are keyboard warriors, first of all. Secondly, that's why they wear masks when they decide to go out and actually do something.
Yep.
So the question
they don't want to face the consequences of their actions. They just don't. They act completely different than they would without that mask. You know, it's yeah.
If words are violence, I claim not guilty for reason of insanity.
So my question is the following. So what if, God forbid, there's a war? What will these people do if they are so
they
gung
think
ho
they're going
now?
to be on the right side of history is what they think they're going to be.
Oh, what?
Man,
imagine
No, not even that. Not even that. That would be them. They'll devolve into the adult children they are, and they'll go in the corner and cry and pray that it all stops. They'll be like, "Just make it all stop." Because I said, like, it's even what Joe said, they're cowardly.
But they're going to get drafted if it happens.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you're talking about if there's an actual
if there's an actual war with another country,
yeah,
or if they actually had to do something with.
Well, here's what I fear is that they would
get slaughtered.
They would actually, the ones that didn't go, would treat our troops coming home like they were treated in the Vietnam era. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How generational
I would
theory.
be really fearful of that kind of thing repeating itself. That lack of attention to history. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so committed to the anger they have on these issues, and you know, I would hate to see that. I really would.
Yeah, and Nathan, you're not wrong about the Strauss, how generational theory stuff either.
Yeah.
Right.
I think though, if that happened, at least the way things are now, if that were to happen, where if they somehow don't end up getting sent and stay behind, the troops come home, the troops are not going to put up with that. After all the shit they've gone through, they would come back and just start taking a mallet to these people.
Nah,
I don't know.
No, they wouldn't. No,
It's-
the guys that put that uniform on, I've done it, and I can tell you right now, they would
at
not.
least they used to. We don't know what's doing now.
Right.
Well, no,
what I'm
yeah,
saying is
true
they would
now.
never lift a hand against the American people. They wouldn't.
Well, I don't necessarily mean like they would get physical with them, but it was like they wouldn't necessarily tolerate that shit to the same degree. On the way back, like you would see a very sharp, drastic divide there.
But to Reuben's point about them being drafted, you know, I mean,
They are being drafted.
Look at the entire
not
picture, folks. Half of these people wouldn't make it through basic training. They wouldn't.
Well, in the draft,
they're not in shape enough to do it. You know.
There was a video. Better Bastard did a video where he's talking about the current recruits of the military as showing videos, and one was a drill sergeant showing a guy who needed a running start to try to make it over this barrier. Like, I'm 5'10". This barrier is probably like almost my height, like a little shorter, so probably cut my neck, so maybe around 5'7", 5'8". And there's two guys sitting on the barrier, and the guy's running out. He can't even jump. He can't even jump. He just hits the barrier, trying to lift himself, and he can't pull himself over it. And he has got two guys who grab him by the arms and try to help pick him up, and he can't get over it. Like, that's some of our current guys right now.
Yeah, meanwhile in Russia and China, they've been like showing these kids how to assemble their firearms. You know.
Yep. Well, the part that I would think, and I probably would have benefited from it too, is why they didn't have a thing like the Israelis with how's it go? Don't call it the draft. Call it community service.
Yeah, like Israelis and South Korea. It's like
I mean, and the Swiss. I forgot. They're the two that have mandatory enlistment for a certain age, and you still have to be able-bodied if you're Swiss. You know, even after your primary term.
Yeah. Oh hell, technically, I don't know if like now, but I know the Finns back then, like right before World War II, that's how it was for a long time. They had the Soviets on their border. Was every single person was basically a reserve troop at the time. So when the Soviets invaded, the ones who came out weren't all recruiting soldiers. No, the farmers grabbed their guns, went back, put back on their uniforms, and went to fight because they were already trained.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting how different things have become.
Yeah,
But you know, it is
By
what it is.
design.
Yeah, by design.
by design.
Yeah, well, we
And
have the
those
luxury of not having to worry about invading Canada, you know.
Yep, that's
What
true.
are we gonna do?
Give back the hostages pronto, or we'll level Toronto.
They still owe us for Celine Dion and Justin Bieber. I'm saying,
Yeah.
They
they
can
owe
keep
us
Justin
big
Bieber.
time.
Hey,
Celine
Justin Bieber
Dion-
got better, at the very least. So
No, he didn't get better. He
Yeah.
dropped. He fell off. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Fell off something. Anyway, so Pinochet's helicopter tour has become a member, or has been a member, I should say, for 3 months now. You folks should look into the amount of young fighting age Chinese nationals that are crossing. Oddly,
Yes.
no one is reporting.
Really?
Yeah, we've talked about
nothing
it.
to
We've talked
see
about it.
here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Don't
no,
worry
no,
about it.
it is. It is.
So
bad.
it's
Like,
not
I don't
just the
remember if you
Russians
guys-
that are trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
No, do you
Wow.
remember
Well,
the
I mean, they're
Vana?
placing
No,
Chinese,
No.
Chinese nationals.
I think it's an invasion force.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah. Do you guys
We're
remember
trying, Bill,
when
we're going.
$20,000 a
Buffalo
month.
happened? The mass event at Buffalo. Do you guys remember that one?
Which what?
Anyone that wants to invade
the
Buffalo.
one during the
can have it.
The
marathon.
mass event. The guy, the nut job who went on a spree in
The
Buffalo.
grocery
Like,
store in Buffalo.
the
Oh,
grocery
yeah,
store,
yeah.
Oh,
Do you remember around the same time, I think it was the same week, there was another event in Nevada that was talked about for like one day and then quickly everyone shut the hell up about it? Do you remember the Nevada event?
No, I don't actually.
Because all right,
I
so in
remember the
Nevada,
Las Vegas one, but
around,
not the.
Yeah.
it was two people. It was a guy and his wife, and they were like, "Oh, it's two white people." No, if I'm correct, they were I think Lebanese, and they were doing it in retaliation for the destruction of the caliphate. They were ISIS people who came in through the southern border. They
I
smuggled.
thought that was California.
Yeah, I mean there was something like that happened a number of years ago that they were in California and they basically did a mass shooting and
Yeah, no, there was one in California. There was one in Nevada. It was the week of the Buffalo. I remember because they talked about it really quickly, and then they quickly shut up about it because it came out where it's like, oh, actually, they're Islamic extremists, and then they no longer talk about it. But it happened at around the same time as Buffalo, where it was two people, guy and the wife. They were Islamic extremists, and apparently they came in through the southern border. Held the weapons they brought in that they used, they brought in with them through the southern border. You can literally tie one of these direct things as a freaking terrorist act that came in because we can't even secure that damn place. And you have like a whole bunch of different countries.
Oh,
down
we
there
can
and groups
secure
and
it.
whatever.
They just don't want to.
right.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
we've been
that's what I
able to
said. They
secure
don't
the
want to
border for a
secure.
long time. Yeah. So, yeah, and it's one particular party, and that all changed right around Obama, because Obama was very anti-immigration, and then he started running for president. He stopped. Even in the first couple of years, he was talking about we got to secure the borders, and you can see if you watch Obama's presidency. You can see the turning of the Democratic Party into a socialist knife edge with his rhetoric throughout his 8 years. So you can see that. Yeah. So he goes from the standard thing: we need to have strong borders. We can't have all these people coming across the border. I mean, he's the one that instituted all the cages and things that were shown. Oh, yeah. And then over time, that all switched around. And it's a perfect Manchurian Candidate movie, just in looking at real life.
When people blame Chicago for Obama, Obama had no actual political footprint as far as
no, he came out of nowhere, got everybody. They put one guy in prison. And then he got everybody else eliminated from his primary set. And then he had community organizational experience. And then bam, he was a senator.
Right.
That's how that happened. He was installed.
And again, he was also another one of the people that hung out with the University of Chicago intelligentsia crowd over in Hyde Park. He was, what do you call it? Again, because at the time, I don't know if he is now, but he's still Saul Alinsky. He wasn't dead yet. He hung out with those political circles. But when I'm talking about, people always talk about, Chicago, this and that for the Democrats, and while it is true as far as helping the National Party, basically Chicago basically says, yeah, we'll help you guys. The power's diminished. We'll help you guys out. We'll get you your president vote, but leave us the hell alone. Is basically their thing. We'll give you Chicago if you give us what we want. But Obama was not part of the entrenchment of Daley Senior and Daley Junior, and certainly not Harold Washington. That was to be honest, that was a racial thing back during Council Wars in the 80s, when they had someone who was not part of the Daley machine being mayor. I just want to point that out as a, as they say, point of order, because he was neither a puppet nor a force within the city of Chicago, not really.
No, but that doesn't
he was Kurt
excuse
Russell
all the
in
bullshit
Chicago.
Chicago's done for 60 years plus. I mean, it doesn't. Chicago is a cesspool. All this progressivism stuff and things and everything come from.
Only the 17 wards that are crappy as far as the violence goes. As far as the politics goes, well, the
politics leads to the violence.
It
does.
There was corruption.
We
we
can talk about this all night, and in the end, I'll be right if you want to do that.
I've lived in Chicago most of my life. All I can tell you is the reason that I stopped being a Democrat was because my son was 1 month old when 9/11 hit, and even before that, I had always been what they used to call a hawk Democrat, which was basically kill all the outsiders. You leave us to do as we wish in this country. But otherwise, I was a libtard until then. But once 9/11 happened. I guess for me that was like my, relatively speaking, growing up. But no, it went to hell. It went to hell after the last Daley ran for office and won.
So Tox, she said he was installed. So he was Kurt Russell in used cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was.
He was a face for the machine. Gotcha. Cool.
Yep. Well, I mean, you look at how he just talk about the immigration real quick.
I don't want to go
you
too
see how he
far
talked
into
about
it.
both sides of his mouth.
I was joking, man.
No, I'm bluing on.
Yeah,
bluing on. Yeah.
I still remember though, he hit the record for most deportations during his fucking presidency, because that was the one thing I found amazing for him was like. Because, like, for me, it's like, even if I disagree, like, as you get whoever ends in office, all right, those are your platforms you go on. I expect you to run by those. Even if you were to flip on and do something I like, I'm like, dude, you ran on those positions. You're going to and you betray him? Like, holy shit. So when he ran in there, he's like, all right, we're going to no longer do the hard border, whatever. And then you hear about it, like, because they were still saying it, but they weren't going, like, crazy talking about it. They were just sort of admitting it quietly. It's like, oh, he's still deporting them en masse after they get here, like, by the tens of millions. I was like, holy shit. I was like, damn. Guys going nuts on it.
I'm not as big into the political end of things as you guys are, but my only problem with him really was him mothballing the shuttle program, because I feel that the space program was a huge matter of national pride. I think it's something that we should always spend money on. And when he mothballed that, I was like, wow.
Joe, that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
You shut down the things that are part of national pride.
Right.
So
yeah, I know.
You eliminate all the things that make you proud to be what you are. You say that there are nothing but problems all over the place. I mean, how many times
you didn't build that, right? Yeah.
Right. Yep. You didn't build that, somebody else, all this other stuff. I mean, there are literally thousands of examples of Obama speaking and tearing down the United States and tearing down the system of government and tearing down the people that built this country to prep the way for where we are now.
Yeah, and that's why the younger people in my family now think we should have a benevolent dictator. You know, it's
exactly.
it's
they've
bad.
been led to that, and there is no such thing, right?
Yeah. Well, we know that, but trying to explain it to them is another thing. Yeah,
it's a bad idea.
Yep.
I know that Toxic Tuesday is. Does he start at 9 o'clock?
I believe he does.
Yeah. So, I want to wrap things up so we can give Nick some time. Thank you guys for being here. It's fun as always. Definitely appreciate you guys.
Thanks for noticing.
We will start with you, Joe. Where can people
Hey,
find
man, what's going on? It's good to see you guys. I'm sorry I was late, but like I said, we had that interview we had to deal with. Look for that coming up on Dork Side of the Ring one Sunday. We do it every Sunday at 1 p.m. over on Pop Culture Minefield's channel, and it's brought to you by KGRA Radio too. If you follow that bunch, nice. Yeah, go check the channel out, guys. I need some subscribers on Rumble so I can start live streaming over there. So go hit me up over there too, will you? I think, what do you need now? 25? They lowered the number, I think. I'm at like 9. So go throw a like over there too, so I can start live streaming over there. It's good to see all of you, always.
Thank you, sir.
Too.
Yep.
Marksman.
Hey guys, it's nice always talking to you, everybody here. You're gonna check me out. I am on Twitch under Gentleman General. So if you want to stop by and watch me game, feel free to join. I hope you all guys have a great week. And yeah, let's see if we can't push that Mario movie over 1 billion, because Odin's gonna be eating some pineapple pizza.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
And that's gonna be a clip for the ages to have.
Oh yeah.
I would rather see Jeremy eat the pizza. So that to me would be more fun to watch.
Yes,
watching Odin do it would be like disciplining a child that's already defeated. You know, it just
maybe
he's already got humiliation because his son likes pineapple pizza. So I feel bad.
Well, the thing is, he's still young enough, and that's the thing. He can age out of it, and then he'll be like, he'll end up being like,
he can grow taste buds.
Oh god. But no, like either way, somebody's gonna eat pineapple on pizza, and it's gonna be a funny video to watch. And the irony was, today for lunch, my boss literally comes to me and my coworker and he says, "Guys, we had some leftover pizza. There's 4 slices, 2 for you and 2 for you. Okay, bye." And we're like, "Wait, what? All right." And I go look, and it was like, and it was freaking a Hawaiian style pizza. So I was like, "All right, screw it, pizza,
Hawaiian style pizza. It's all for me."
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Terminus. Where can people find you?
Okay. As usual, it's been nice hanging with you guys. Y'all can find me at y'all can find me, of course, I'm hanging around in hanging around comic streams on Monday, Wednesday night, and in general, like just trying to be funny as usual, and on Twitter, y'all can find me at ESC84 Terminus, and which I just like to use to interact with to interact with the rest of this community, and give my takes on pop culture and what's going on in the world and stuff, and maybe interject a bit up on my usual brand of humor in there, you know.
Which is great, by the way.
It is.
Oh, thanks you. I wish I had a couple more jokes and puns for tonight, you know. But yeah, it's just one of those nights, you know. But
I hear you, man.
But yeah, y'all can find me at y'all can sub up to my Twitter at EST84 Terminus, and I just put it in the private chat for you talk, so you can copy paste there, and then in the comments.
All right, Terminus, thanks again for always, man. Thanks for being here.
Welcome, man.
Nathan.
Hey, I'm your friendly neighbor. I'm your friendly neighborhood sidekick annoyance, and I don't do it. I don't per se. I basically like being a chattermouth and a sidekick to whatever stream will be willing to put up with me. I've sometimes my Twitter is down in the corner. If you wanna hear my none of you take no offense, none of you are swine. I do throw pearls of wisdom though. So nonetheless, once in a while, I know what I'm talking about, and I like to provide a little bit of rationality to things. And once in a while, hey, I'm wrong, and I don't mean incorrect. I mean, I'm just not right, man. You all have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Reuben.
Hello. Thank you, Comix. Thank you, Talks. Really appreciate it. Like being here. Love it all. I have a Rumble channel now, and I have actually 6 channels on there. Basically, I'm just going full bore on just saying goodbye to YouTube. I have my conjecture, which would be my hypothesis videos. My persistence would be my blog. I have my weight loss quest for my weight loss videos and my eating right. Not associated with. I'm going to start doing interviews. Extra large Reed Richards comedy. And then the last one is The Journey Love Beyond, because I have a lot of poetry and other talk about love and happiness. So it's all going to be there. Instagram, I'm going whole bore on that. So see you later.
The Love Doctor. 5 picoseconds.
Yeah, the love doctor. He doesn't give the ladies a pap smear. He gives them a fap smear.
Oh man. Sometimes they just hurt.
They really do. How are you so fast with it? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm so fast with what? His Terminus just has a brain that comes up with quips.
He does.
Yeah. Anyway. Hey everyone. Pico here, I guess. I last time I was here, I mentioned that I was going to be on a Star Wars EU podcast, and I forgot to post the link because I'm an idiot. But
happens to the best of us.
If anyone wants to watch like 6 angry Star Wars nerds get annoyed at covers, new covers for EU books that Disney's putting out, I guess go to that link at Talks. I put it in the private chat there. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to plug today.
All right. Well, thanks for being here as always.
Yeah.
What we got going on, Toxic Man Flu?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. You expect me to know shit and things.
I don't. I really don't.
Oh, that's
Scuffing
good. That's
things.
good. So we had Andy Masterson on last week, and it was a great video set with Andy. He showed some great toys and things, and we got a lot of views out of that on Rumble. So about 88,000 views on that live stream there. Rumble's really doing well with the people that are on there. And if you do the recurring $5 a month, that 100% goes to the creators over there. So if you're thinking about following Reuben or Joe or anybody that's over there and donating them on a monthly basis, know that to the end of the year, 100% of that's going to them. Rumble's making a commitment to creators. There's some fairly interesting keto recipe videos over there. But Comix Division 2, I put that out there. Go out and take a look at that. We have 3 channels. We're going to have to get that fixed soon. And
we do.
Someday, Comix and I will have time. But Andy was there. We had a great time with MagTech Mags on Monday, yesterday.
Max
what
is
a great
great
person. We got to get her back on.
She always
I'm already
is.
talking to her again.
Yeah, she's great.
She's class. And she's got some stuff that's coming out, doing some things with MrTickleTrunk, and she's got Pat Steven Seagal doing things for her. So we're excited about Mags moving forward. Wonderful person. Mad Mardigan's going to be on the panel Thursday. We're not going to have a quote-unquote guest. We're just going to be talking about things. We're trying to do that once a month or so where it's us and the panel. Talking from there. Shagsworth will be on next week on Monday. Then we'll have Horror Amarada and Sheepsidian on Thursday.
Oh,
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah,
That'll
it's
be
stuff.
good. Yeah.
And I'm still communicating with Becca Lower. She writes for Red State. We get a lot of stuff from them. And right for now, it's the 24th of April. We're going to be doing that. But Lofty Pixel's going to be on. Jinja Ninja's going to be on. We're going to talk to Soldier Spirit and some of the... we'd like to do a military-themed show in May, because we're on May 29th. That's a Monday. That's Memorial Day. So we'd like to do something there.
Tap Gary for that, man. He does a military show twice a week.
Yep, and that's Gary and you, Joe, and just get some people on and start talking about what the experience of being in there and what it meant. And I never was able to serve, but I have a long history of it in the family and people doing that. So it's a special
you back
to me,
them.
so.
That matters, dude.
Yeah, I've been to all of the academies to see football games. When I went to Navy, I bought all the Navy stuff because my wife's father was in the Navy, not the band that sang the song. He was actually in the Navy during Vietnam. And he's got a plank award. Cool. So when they tore up the ship, he was supposed to get a plank off it. But anyway, I wear that around and people are like, oh, did you serve? I'm like, no. And I just finally said, I just said my parents did. Stuff from there. So. And then on June 1st is our Pride Month special. So we got a lot coming up. You asked, Comix. You asked.
Did I really ask for it?
I don't know. But I do know.
Ask for it in some capacity.
In some way, shape, or form, you are asking for this kind of torture. Yeah. Culture and I are doing some more comedic bits. We've been... Brahmabull's got some stuff going on. And we've got a lot of stuff that we're working on, trying to be creative and do some stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Be more creative, harder talks.
Penis. Gagging you with entertainment.
There you go.
That is my answer.
Yes.
I could have done the Restromp the Goin thing. I like that one.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for everyone who participated tonight. And thank you to my fantastic panelists who are members on the subscribe card and YouTube side. I definitely appreciate it, guys. So we are out of here, Talks. Go ahead and play those credits, and we'll see you Thursday.
Oh, wait. I got to do stuff again, right? Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to all the supporters. Without you, Comix Division would probably be hoeing on a corner somewhere.
Literally, he would. Literally.
I like his toxic man is my pimp.
So I'm the pimp. I've moved up from bottom bitch to pimp.
No, you're still bottom bitch.
That's true. Can't believe it's only Tuesday.
Can't believe it's already what?
Can't believe it's only Tuesday.
No kidding.
I like Are You Drunk Too? That's a great name. Cack. Sumo Orange, his channel has been doing pretty well. I haven't seen if he's dropped another video yet.
Yeah, he's been doing great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I still can't believe we got all that engagement for the Mario stream. It's because we were doing entertainment and they boosted it. And people were looking what's going on at the front. Monday's stream is over 1,000 views. So,
on
Rumble.
Rumble? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we've got closing in on 100 views on the Right for Disney Plus video. Which is funny as hell.
I have to say that was my best video.
I think it was. I think it was really good. Smoking NZ's telling me it's Wednesday because he's in New Zealand.
Well, he's in New Zealand. Don't count, Smokey.
Wednesday somewhere.
I'm American.
Thank you all for watching. You are amazing.
Have a wonderful
We'll see you
night.
Thursday, folks. Good night.